Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler, Flounder, at the controls. It's war. Let's go kill people! Yay! All right, man, I'm ready. Sign me up, baby. What can we do? Can we be part of this? Sorry, I get a little...
We already are.
We are in the now, baby dog.
Our tax money paid
That's
for
right.
Hamas.
Well, now they're going to link it together with Ukraine so we can all have the whole deal going. So under this presidential scuzz bag, we have the war in Europe, which never would happen under you-know-who, and now we have a war in the Middle East, but also never would, that's a twofer. It's the daily double. Anyway, how you doing? It's only the Kiver and Pete and Flounder, and it's war in the Middle East. We've been talking about a thing. Still, we will have a show. We have, we'll do, do we even have Pete Sweets or Skyner?
Sure.
Maybe not. We'll figure something.
We never get to them, but we always have it.
Well,
We're ready.
Theoretically.
In fact, just a minute ago, we were talking as we were coming out, and we were thinking, no, hey, Robert Kennedy Jr., poor bastard. I mean, he comes on today to announce he's forming another party. And duh. I haven't even seen it covered
Nobody
on Fox
cares.
all day, and there's been nothing there. Now, you'll hear his voice later on in our show. But I mean, when you think about this, I mean, I'm a man alive. I'd be like, well, it's too bad. Also, they picked today to reveal the story that actually is not particularly new, but it's new to us, about President Showers with daughter's younger brother, Frank, has now been outed on part of a gay porn website with a naked picture.
Let me be frank.
Yeah, hello. Also, a little bit of thing on Black Lives Matter and former Nick star Mari Stoudemire, you may have heard about that. Also, Pink Floyd. We got a bunch of weird things going on in the news here. And let's see. Iowa caucus. The Iowa people caved in to the liberals, too, for the election stuff. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of things going on. We'll talk about a golf tournament. I think Nick Cellini will be with us later in about about 30, 40 minutes, something like that, talk about the game again, which, by the way, they said that the reason they didn't have the National League playoffs Sunday, they had them Saturday but not Sunday, was to give in to football, but they still had the American League playoffs on Sunday. So what the hell?
No sense. The Braves will be playing 2 games in 8 days. It makes no sense.
I mean, that can't be really good, is it?
It's not good for batting, no.
It's not good for pitchers either. If you get, I mean, it might be for some, but again,
it's better for pitchers, but it's not good for timing on a major league level in postseason play.
Yeah, and it may or may not be better for some pitchers who rely on their junk, and if their arms are too strong, they don't have the junk. I mean, anyway, and that's true. I mean, we all know that. Anyway, so we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. Also, it is. I guess it's officially Columbus Day. Watch out for stars. That's why. Oh, no, stand back, people. Stand back. No, so far there's been no horrible reaction if you say the words Columbus Day or and by the way, or Indigenous People Day or
Leif Erikson Day. Yeah, which I prefer.
And of course, if there had been, in fact, what would have happened if the Vikings and the Scandinavians had stayed here, overpowered, and taken? This would be one big Europe, one big national European country,
run by Vikings.
Yeah, by Vikings. Hardy folks.
Yeah.
Now what happened, I wonder? Did we even know?
Basically, they stayed up in Canada. It was too cold to really grow anything. There where they were, Newfoundland or wherever the hell they were. Yeah. And the Indians were kind of, when they tried to go a little farther south, the Indians were not happy about that. And they had so few Vikings with them. They didn't have enough.
They didn't have enough people to do it. But
it's like Greenland. They had to evacuate Greenland after 100 or 200 years because they just couldn't make a living there.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, 307, how you doing? It's only me. It's the Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Here's the phone number. We love phone calls. And by the way, let me say this, and this is going to sound harsh, and I don't mean it against the people. It's going to sound harsh, too. I mean it to sound harsh against the wrong party. How is it possible that in this day and age, an American Jew could ever vote for a Democrat? And the bad word here is Democrat. How could a Jewish person vote for a Democrat? Seriously. if you honestly, if you are Jewish, I would love to have you explain how you could hate Donald Trump so much. Is that still a factor? I mean, now maybe I'm wrong, but I think my understanding still is that basically the Jewish vote is a Democrat vote.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not a conservative,
historically,
a religious party.
Well, there's people holding signs up in New York saying Jewish people for Palestine.
Yeah.
There's signs saying queers for Palestine.
Yeah. Go there. Go over there for a couple of years.
Take a trip and see what happens.
Yeah, let's do a lot around now. How long it takes for them to tie your hands behind your back and throw you off a 4-story building just for the fun of it to watch you bounce.
It's Olympic sport. Gay toss.
I mean, my God, you idiots. Yeah, and about the women. Hey, women, you complain about Americans. Yeah, go over there for a while. Yeah, you want to support the cause. Oh, and by the way, speaking of women, we got to talk about the squad. Tlaib and those traitors.
They're treasonous. Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean,
well, how can you, if you're a white man and you wave a swastika around New York City, you're arrested immediately.
Yeah.
The FBI is on you like a duck on corn.
Yeah.
But if you're Palestinian, you can wave swastikas in the faces of Jewish people, and the mayor can go, well, don't bring your hate on the streets. Well, do something about it. Well, you're the mayor.
Yeah. Now, again, here we go, and we have a lot to talk about over there where it's going on right now. A couple of the latest things. And again, things are breaking as we speak. Israel's on the offensive. However, Hamas has said, the latest threat, as I understand it, Pete, is that if Israel bombs civilian territories, every jet strike, they will kill a hostage.
Live on video.
And they will, they will live stream it.
And the thing is Hamas has built all their bases around civilian areas.
Right.
Well, that's what they do because they're cowards.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're mad at Israel, attack the military. They know they can't do that because they'd lose because they're bad fighters and they're cowards.
Right. Also, so we have the issue of hostages. And again, let's ask the $1,000,000 question. Do you say, well, then they're going to die?
You cannot attack.
There's no such thing anymore. Well, I know I'm telling you, there's no such thing as collateral damage. These days, in this kind of society, in this kind of war, look at the last 20 years. There's no such thing as civilian casualties. You're all in it. True. Everybody's in it. 9/11. Those people weren't wearing uniforms in the World Trade Center. There's no such thing. And if you're in it and you're and I'll tell you this, if they, I can't talk about me, but I promise you, someone's got to make a decision that if your country needs you to be a casualty of the war in order to stop what they're trying to pull, then you're going to die. I mean, what are they supposed to say? Well, gee, you've got civilians, so we'll just let you do what you want? I mean, come on, man. I wouldn't.
It boils down to two things. Whenever in history have the people who have attacked women, elderly, and children, raped, tortured them, displayed their bodies, desecrated their bodies, whenever they've been on the good side.
They need to be wiped out. We need to call for extinction. Oh, gee, the Kimmer just called for extinction of these terrorists who will not stop.
Hamas needs to be...
Hamas needs to go. Hamas needs to be extinguished.
Exterminated.
Quickly, before we go, tell the story of the very good-looking woman who was on their side. A woman who was, tell this story. Starting with last night, a woman who's now in social media, her videos available if you look for it. Starting with last night, what a happy scene it must have been.
They're dancing. It's like Burning Man. They're dancing, having a good time out in the desert there in Israel. All of a sudden, paragliders come in and start shooting, grabbing, raping, torturing. She's a young girl.
Slaughtering hundreds of these
And
parties.
there's video of them dancing one second, then running for their lives in the next one. They capture this girl. Beautiful girl, right? She's not only a peace activist, she was one of the few conscientious objectors in Israel, because everybody there carries a gun and has to go to the military, man and woman, right?
So she refused to support Israel or a peacenik, totally.
A peace stick.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They cared.
They
took her clothes off, raped her, paraded around in front of the TV cameras, then killed her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I think they left bodies in the streets.
They left us. They piled them up. They joked about it and all that.
Yeah.
It's all on video. But you have people trying to do gymnastics, mental gymnastics, trying to say, "Oh, this is really it's Israel's fault." Israel's fault. By the way, this goes down to one other thing too. He is now officially the worst president in the history of the United States, from the Afghanistan withdrawal to the economy to inflation to the border, and now giving $6 billion to Iran, which they've had to now admit, saying, yeah, they probably used some of the money for Hamas. Well, we knew that was going to happen.
They were going to. Iran said, we're going to use it any way we want to. I mean, they said that. It's duh. And by the way, he's not only the worst president, he's the most dangerous president. He's the most despicable president. Any adjective you can think about negative failure is this guy.
He took the day off today starting at 11.
He hasn't said anything in 2 days. Or hasn't addressed the nation.
He had a barbecue at the White House on Sunday.
With a live band.
Yeah, the great man. They were rocking and rolling and
you imagine
singing.
if Trump was having a party when 9 Americans were dead?
Boy, Dr. Jill's out there doing the twist and stuff. My God. I mean, they're asking for an insurrection, and they deserve one, a real one.
Not from us.
Not from us. We would never, 314 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and man, we haven't even started yet. 106.3 or something. Look out.
because then they're superfluous. The Saudis don't care about them anymore. They only care about themselves because Iran is the big bully there now. Yeah. They want us to protect them against Iran. Iran is the one protecting Hamas, not the Saudis anymore.
Yeah. But I still, okay, I'm so far away from being a Middle East scholar, it's laughable. So let's say that was if that's the plausible explanation for why they. Explanation. Let's all say it together. That's I hate when you do that, you bastard.
Anyway,
why? What's the end game? There can't possibly be a good news end game for this because they knew they were asking for it. If Hamas attacks Israel all of a sudden out of the blue after apparently a long time planning and using, I think you were telling me they're using our technology from stolen secret phone technology we left in Afghanistan to figure out how to break through the
Iron Dome
of the Israeli billion-dollar Iron Dome program, the Star Wars system.
That's another thing you thank Biden for.
Yeah, again, but so they must have known that obviously Israel's going to go ape guano.
But they've done it before.
I know, but they did it in 1967. It lasted 6 days.
Yeah.
I mean, they must know Israel's going to kill every stinking one of them.
They did it in 1973 in the Yom Kippur War in Egypt. Egypt was winning in the first 2 weeks.
Almost to the day, 50 years ago.
And Meir was begging Nixon for F-16s or whatever we were using at the time to help out, and thank God he did.
Okay, now, so what possible outcome would Hamas think by making Israel go nuts and dragging America into it? They can't possibly win a conflict with Israel and Israel's supporters.
Okay, I'll answer your question. A, they didn't think America would get involved, especially Biden would send the carriers that quickly. They didn't think that happened.
So far, he's on the beach taking another day off.
Every few years, they nut up like this, and Israel will rattle their sabers and kill a few of them, and then they go right back to hiding in Gaza and build back up again.
Well,
so they miscalculated this time.
I think Netanyahu
miscalculated this time.
Wipe you out.
I didn't think they thought they'd be this successful. This is like the biggest, bloodiest day in Israeli history. That attack was almost. So they miscalculated that. I think Iran miscalculated that Biden was a softie, which he is, but he didn't think he'd send the carrier. I don't know what the carriers are going to do except be there, as a show of force. I don't think we're going to be sending our planes over there to attack. But it was all about getting all the other Arabs to side with them against Israel because they were this close to signing a peace treaty with Saudi Arabia and us, and they can't have that. They were completely left out of those negotiations because the Saudis, the new Saudis, the new royalty, they don't care about the Hamas or Palestinians. Yeah. And Egypt kicked them out. Jordan kicked them out. Nobody really likes them.
Well, so again, they can't win a military victory, and if they're trying to get a full-out war between Iran and America and Israel,
they don't want America involved at all.
I know, but how were they thinking that all of a sudden this is just going to stop?
They thought, in fact, Lebanon's still making noise that Hezbollah will join in at some point. They probably won't after they find out we got a carrier sitting out there saying you're not going to do that. But they thought everybody's going to rally around them, and this would be the chance they'd have, maybe not to knock Israel off the map, but get back some of their land and get more power, and Iran would back them. We'll see. Do you think Iran's going to back them when we got a carrier sitting there?
I can't
miscalculated.
I can't think of a possible positive outcome for anybody. I mean, there's no. It's a lose-lose. And again, I don't see the point.
Well, they never think clearly.
So they're not going to have a treaty, so they know that there isn't a treaty now, so what the hell difference it makes? So why today, why not next week?
They thought they'd stop the treaty.
It's unbelievable. But, and again, even if they did, there's still no good outcome.
You're looking at this from a civilized man's viewpoint.
I guess probably.
This boils down to civilization versus barbarians. They are barbarians. They don't think like you and me. Yeah, they only see one thing, power. Yeah. And they see weakness in America, and they saw weakness in Israel, because Israel's been just like us, fighting with each other.
Well, they just went through a couple of months ago, but the Supreme Court decisions in Israel, and
they lost control of their border, just like we have.
Yeah.
Rocco's on the line.
Rocco's on the line. Rocco, thanks for calling, man. Happy freaking Monday. Welcome to War USA right here. Yes, sir.
Yes. Shout out to the YouTube Mafia. Listen, Pete Davis, amen to you, brother. This can be laid at the feet of Joe Biden and Barack Obama.
That's right.
They're working together on this, and the gesture they did with sending the aircraft carrier is nothing but a gesture, because people behind Biden and Obama, they cannot stand Israel. They hate Israel.
True.
It's an empty gesture. Now, this is proven that if I hear one more liberal say that, there's no evidence that they spent the $6 billion that we unfroze.
Oh my God!
I'm going to throw my remote through my smart TV and the wall behind it.
They gave them the go-ahead 2 weeks ago to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
They gave them the permission, Pete and Cameron Flounder, to sell oil on the open market at present-day prices.
Yeah.
They're using that money to fund all these rockets that are going over there.
Yeah. Well, Iran said they were going to use it any way they wanted to. They actually said that. So, duh.
This is at Biden's feet.
Yeah.
And, Kimmer, you're exactly right. Any Jewish person who would vote Democrat is just self-hating and self-loathing.
And by the way,
cannot get over this.
And Putitat has been basically silent for a couple of days now. And same way, and President Showers with daughters took the day off. He had a barbecue and a live band yesterday on the beach, party type stuff. And today he took the day off after like 11 this morning.
They call a lid at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, my God.
11 o'clock.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump had done that, partied, and then
9 Americans dead. 9 Americans dead.
We know of. Probably 100. I mean, who knows?
That's the other part, Pete. We, once again, have Americans who are killed on foreign soil, and we have done nothing about it.
Yeah. I know.
Just like in Afghanistan, when that bomber blew up at the airport, we've done nothing about those Marines who were killed.
That's right.
Nothing.
Absolutely. And again, I'm sick and tired of anybody trying to convince Americans that we need some sort of appropriate response to terrorism. Yeah, appropriate my ass. If you kill all of them, then there won't be any problems in the future. I mean,
that's the only way to end it.
My God.
Saturday morning, I saw this going down Saturday morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought of the worst possible thing that Biden could say. And by God, several hours after that, after he woke up, that's what he said.
Yeah.
It's the worst possible thing. Just the most milquetoast, weak-ass, response. This is just horrible.
He doesn't know what to say.
And you don't think there's any coincidence at the time we have no Speaker of the House, so the House can't do anything. Why are they not come in like today and get a new speaker and get going with this?
Well,
why are we waiting? And we're going to go all week long before we get a new Speaker of the House. This is just horrible set of circumstances that have collided together.
Yeah, Rocco, it's a mess, my friend. Keep the faith, because we're
the Palestinians may be stupid, but they're cunning.
Yeah. Well, they pulled this off. I mean, again, here we go. And again, it's all happening. And McCarthy just now has made a comment, by the way, Rocco, that said the House can't do anything without a speaker. And now actually the word in the last hour or two has been, well, it looks like McCarthy may just be elected speaker again.
Yeah, no way. No.
But it's just turmoil. Everything's. Yeah.
If you want to help, get rid of any Democrat.
Yeah.
That's what you can do to help.
Yeah, vote. Yeah, exactly. Rocco, thanks, man. Have a great day, best you can. We'll keep you posted.
And how many have come across our border?
God almighty.
How many military-age Hamas men?
Absolutely. And look at all the 20-year-old able-bodied single men
buy guns, buy ammo, buy guns. There's somebody said on Twitter yesterday he talked to a diplomat. Of course, there's a lot of rumors flying around, but the guy said, I just talked to a friend of mine who's a diplomat overseas, and he says, I wouldn't be in a big city for the next 12 months.
Target city. I mean, if they want to expand, I can't imagine that there's somebody that much of a psychopath who would start blowing up American building like in 9/11. God, again, we didn't,
They think we're soft.
And by the way, we are. How is it possible that the intelligence community, not only here, but also in Israel, missed all of this?
Blew it.
I mean, they didn't know that all of a sudden thousands of the penetration bombing attack things and
paragliders
and so, I mean the planning on this and the money for it and the coordination.
Where they can't practice paragliding in the Gaza Strip. They were doing that in other countries, probably Lebanon and Iran.
Yeah, it's just the failure. Well, 9/11, and so here we go again. How could we have not known any of this? Or if we did, we didn't do anything about it in advance. Oh, I don't think we knew. I think they got us.
I think that we're so wrapped up in
Hamas
technology.
beat the security systems of America and Israel?
Our surveillance and electronics and technology, we're so reliant on that we don't have the feet on the ground, the spies, like you used to in the past.
Yeah, analytics, baby.
Well, it was also a Jewish holiday over the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the party was, celebrating the end of the holiday, and that's why they had those hundreds of people slaughtered by the paragliders coming in for the party. My God.
And they think they're good at doing that on holidays.
Yeah.
We will cross a frozen river at midnight on Christmas Eve and kill you in your sleep.
With no shoes on. And that's,
We've done it before.
Here we come, 3:30 with the Kira, Pete, and Flounder. Happy freaking Monday. Look out.
Hello.
No, we're here. Everything's fine. How you doing? Look at it. All right, it's Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. What's the music here, Flounder?
This is Widespread Panic.
Widespread Panic. Well, there you are, sir. That's why I would never recognize it. I'm sorry. Three. Who's running around in there? So we got another guy.
No, there's with the game today. There's a lot. They're having a tailgate in there. So there's all kinds of people.
There's a party going on
Yes.
here. Actually, well, good for them. And are these like sponsors and fans or
Sponsors and listen? I think
family,
mainly
friends,
sponsors and stuff like that.
Excellent, outstanding. Well, hi folks. If you're listening on the speaker out there, great to have you aboard. You're having a little party here. It's a beautiful day, and the game is 6:07. And we're going to talk Nick Cellini in about 5 minutes.
That's right.
Outstanding. In the meantime, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, quick birthday. We still have a little bit of our normal show. It's about the war going on here. And we may even have a Flounders Funny coming up later on, too, here as well. John O'Hurley, 69 years old today. What's the matter?
I was just waving.
Oh, okay.
Everybody.
John O'Hurley, 69. He played Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. And he was great at it. I mean, with him and Elaine, it was perfect. He lost to Kelly Monaco on the first season of Dancing with the Stars. But he whooped her in a rematch, it says here, that was based only on viewer votes. John O'Hurley, 69.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who the hell is Kelly Monaco?
I have no idea.
All right.
Some girl named Kelly Monaco. So I just give her, kudos for the thing there. And a quick historical note. Speaking of the war in Israel and between Israel and Hamas and the Arab terrorists, 1985 on this day, you recall the terrorists who hijacked the passengers and crew of the cruise ship Achille Lauro. The terrorists agreed to let the hostages go in return for safe passage to Tunisia. Well, the next day, President Ronald Reagan said, "We're not dicking around with you people after what you did to Mr. Klinghoffer in the wheelchair, throwing him overboard." So Reagan ordered their aircraft intercepted by F-14A Tomcats in midair. They were stationed in Sicily, and all of a sudden, the guy, "Excuse me, there's big fighter jets outside," and they're pointing down. "No, you got to land." And so they made them land. They said, "Well, you have a choice. Either you land where we want you to." The hijackers know they blow them out of the sky. So they surrendered and they landed at what do you call it?
An airfield. An airport.
But it was not NASA. What's
two
the one?
syllables.
What do you call our deal with the NATO base? Okay. I wanted to say, I couldn't get a thing out there. Anyway, so that was the Achille Lauro thing. Okay, like, God almighty. And by the way, there's a whole big, I have a whole article. We'll do it another day because we've got too much war stuff going on, about the reason that people, when they get to a certain age, names are skipped over in the brain function cell.
All right. I look forward to that.
I know. Also, it's Columbus Day, and I actually have a couple of Columbus Day jokes, which are so bad they're not even worth doing. We haven't even talked about your boys' weekend. If I got a chance to hit balls Saturday with Flounder and Miss Veronica.
So the world's on fire, and you're hitting balls. So
no,
good
I'm
for
just
you.
saying, well, that's why it was a special thing, and by God, it was. Well, they did call me for advice. I gave them a couple tips and said, "I'll get back to you."
Just the tip.
Just the tips. Anyway, and you're up in the Macon Mountains. Anything new?
I watched the Braves. I watched football. Basically, that was it. It was chilly. It was nice. Beautiful days, but a little cold, which is fine.
It was chilly.
You don't want to drive around up there this time of year on the weekends because every idiot in the car is up there driving around.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, I turned my heat on for the first time.
I've had mine on.
Anyway, and by the way, I can't remember what I was going to say about. And Nick Cellini coming up.
By the way, I turned on this morning. I'm flicking around. Of course, all the news channels are in commercial, just like all the football games are always in commercial. So I flicked on to something called I-24 something, which comes out of the Middle East. So there had a few people on the ground there in Israel, talking what's going on. Guy is in a place called Ashkelon. Does that ring a bell? Talk about this as history. Does that ring a bell? Ashkelon?
The pronunciation reminds me of something.
It's the modern pronunciation of a town. That's the town where Samson brought the temple down on top of the Philistines.
Yeah. Oh my God! With the two ropes for the pillars. Oh my God!
Cool. Did that bring it all around? How weird! Nothing changes over there.
Oh, my God. Kirby, the spokesman for the State Department, is now talking about how climate change is an existential threat.
You've got to be kidding me.
Holy moly.
And the other shot is showing burning in Israel and
fires,
Gaza.
burning and stuff.
And he's talking about climate change.
And by the way, there's so many things. the murderous assault. I still can't believe what they think the outcome is going to be. I don't understand. There's no way that they can that Hamas or its associates, even the people controlling, including Iran, could have a positive outcome for this.
Wall Street Journal reporting Iran helped plot the Hamas attacks on Israel. They of course they thought it would be a positive outcome. They thought everybody would rally around Iran. Iran wants to be the big bully over there.
Okay, what happens if we just say to Israel, okay, we will give you everything you need. Go wipe out Iran, the whole freaking country.
We won't
I'm sure. Let's remember, America. Nothing personal, but we are the only country in the history of the world to drop 2 atomic bombs on civilians.
But we're also the only country in the world that had the ability to kill every other person on the planet, and including our enemies, and didn't do it.
Yeah.
After that.
Right. But, at some point, you can't keep doing this.
Biden would never give Israel the go.
No, although maybe it's, the last one that happened like this was 50 years ago. I mean, the last actual, it was 67, then 73. It was 50 years ago, almost to the day, that this
We've had
kind of thing
we had the Intifada. We've had a few things since then.
So maybe, are we willing to say, okay, every 50 years we blow up a couple of, civilian things and then they scream and yell at each other and then kind of back off after a while, or what?
What country was it that was back in the 80s or something? The Israelis sent planes over and bombed a nuclear facility. Was it Jordan or Syria? Where they went in there and they bombed the nuclear facility. They made movies out of it. It was a big deal. Surgical strike and all that. Yeah.
Anyway, 341. Oh, how are we doing? Is Mr. Shalini on the line by chance? We don't want to hold him up. He's trying to...
Not yet.
Okay. All right, we'll keep talking.
We'll talk war until sports comes around.
Yeah, again, we got, hey guys, how's it going? We got the people are taking over here. We got families coming in and children, and it's great to see.
Ozzy Albies is here. John Smoltz just walked in.
Well, no,
we have 2 Ronald Acuna Jr.'s.
Well, no, it's not. See, they're not the actual people. But it's a party. They got like booze and food in the conference rooms and everything. That's cool. I like to see it. And again, in fact, what the hell? Nick Shalini's calling in any minute now, right? I think. Or should we wait? You want to do it after the break later? Whatever. Anyway, we'll talk. Well, let's start talking a little bit about that because
that's fine.
We're going to do a break anyway here in a second. If he calls now or after the break's fine.
It's a must win.
No, wait. Yeah, it's a must win. Again, we're talking 3, and that's a ball game.
Yeah, it's
you can't go down 2 and then go to their park
with Bryce Elder or bullpen guys.
What happened? No, and again, we have a lot of. We could talk sports all day.
There's a lot of weirdness.
In fact, I've got the sports the sports section here, and I came in. I said, Pete, there are 4 major things we want to talk about in sports today, and he's of course got them all, but still, now quickly, what happened in the game Saturday?
Well,
they changed. They're good.
He tweaked the lineup a little bit. The Phillies are a very good postseason team. They match up well, and they came in here with Ranger Suarez, maybe their 3rd best pitcher, and shut us out.
Yeah.
The most prolific offense in maybe the history of baseball got shut out at home in a game 1 of a postseason game.
Yeah.
And you got to think 6 days off is not good. Practice is not a real game. And the Phillies played most of the week, and then they had 2 days off.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of fresh. The Braves are like, they've been sitting around for a week.
Yeah. Although I was watching some of the coverage, and there were a lot of folks who were saying what a great idea it was for the manager to at least have games, and the crowd was there.
You did
and it
all
was
he could.
Great idea. And now maybe that even made
that was the best you could do. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It was creative and clever. It was fun for the fans, fun for the players. They felt engaged and stuff. But unfortunately, those freaking Phillies, they can hit the damn ball too. I mean,
Bryce Harper. I would never pitch to him. Never pitch to him.
Just walk him.
And they only lost 3-0. Spencer Strider pitched well, and you still lost.
Yeah.
That's just not a good sign. And Frank, the Phillies have a bad history of this.
The Braves can't get 3 runs off a guy who's
at home.
Yeah. I don't get it.
It doesn't bode well. In fact, I'm looking at the history. It's not a good day in history for Braves in the postseason, although there was one good shining moment last year or 2 years ago. Max Fried won against the Brewers.
But history means nothing.
In baseball, it does. In baseball, it does.
Well, you could say our Braves team has lost 9 times since in 1997. The Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I see your point.
We have the same team we had in 1997. the same weather, the same the attitude, the same players.
Let me point out two things to you.
My God, man.
And one time, in one game on this day, the Braves lost an 18-inning game in Houston. The longest postseason game or playoff game in history.
So sorry.
We lost that.
I remember.
And then another time, this was about, 3 or 4 years ago, Mike Foltynewicz gave up 10 runs in the first inning of a deciding game.
Okay, all right.
So I'm telling you, this isn't a good day.
But he's not pitching tonight.
No, Max Fried is, and Max Fried won a game on this day.
And Max never gave up 10 runs in one inning, so that's not going to happen again.
And he won a postseason game on this day.
I look like, well, this team hasn't won in 19 years. Well, they weren't playing the same team. Oh, my God.
Okay, this is coming from the man who thinks Stan Musial played in the American League his entire career.
Lousy misimpersonation. It's 3:45. Get off my back. Look out. Look out, here we go. This is the Letterman, 1966.
No, it's not.
With Do You Love Me, My Darling.
This is Aerosmith.
Aerosmith,
back in the
course.
saddle.
You can tell by the screaming of the fellow. Oh, my God. Is he the one with a daughter?
Yes.
Yeah. 340. Let's see how much I've got my total musical hat on there today. See the one with a daughter. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain anything.
He has a daughter.
Hey, there you are. 340. I have two. 349, how's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder having a little fun here on Monday. War in the Middle East, and we got the Braves here in town. Nick Cellini's coming up to chat with us on the phone here shortly, which anytime you can, that'll be great.
Whenever he feels like it.
No, I mean, the guy's busy.
He is busy. It's a busy time of year.
This is the worst time of year for guys who want to, just go and relax at the game. He's working. He's always working this time of year. So he's doing stuff, and we, sometime around 3:45, whatever, call him. We'll have a happy time.
It's convenient.
Whenever he feels like doing. Do a quick birthday note here. Tony Shalhoub.
One of your favorites.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, One of the most embarrassing moments in radio history.
Tony Shalhoub. We should try to find that somehow. Oh, my God. That would embarrass me and humiliate me for the rest of my life. Tony Shalhoub is 70. And it says here, no matter how many Emmys he's won for Monk, he will always be Antonio on wings. He's also hilarious for the Star Trek spoof Galaxy Quest.
But he's been on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel the past few years, playing her dad, and he's hysterical.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's a very talented actor. And just for the record, his sister lived or lives now. I don't know if she's still around. Was it Roswell? Or I think Roswell or Alpharetta, somewhere right up in here. And one day we were on the radio about 10 years ago or whatever it was, and she called in.
Yeah.
And I was and I got so excited. Oh, God, I was such a, I said, oh, my God, so your brother, oh, my God. I said, hey, you think he could, get us on one of his TV shows? I said, yeah. Oh, man. So and I talked about, oh, my God. And Pete's going, oh, just stop talking.
The poor woman is trying to answer questions.
I never let her talk.
Can he give me a commercial? Can he get me on the show? I'd just be in the background. I wouldn't say anything. I'd be real quiet. I wouldn't bug him or anything like that.
So what's it like? But does he talk about the making the?
Remember that time he was?
Yeah, it was exactly like
he was
that.
on TV.
It was exactly like what's his Chris Farley talking to what's his
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Remember that time when you had that record? Oh yeah.
It was horrible. The most, and she never called back.
Oh, God. I'm so embarrassed.
It was the worst.
I'm right now this minute embarrassed about it.
Flounder, you weren't there, were you? I think that was John Boy that had to put up with that.
Oh, it had to be 2015 or something.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I was cringing. I was like, I'll make this end.
Goodness sakes. Anyway, it's 352. If you want to join us, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And again, if you're a Jewish voter, I'd love to know how a Jewish voter in America could ever vote Democrat these days. Putty Tat hasn't said squat. He's been running the whole thing with President Josa Nostra, who also took the day off after having his beach party Sunday with the live band and all kind of stuff while the war in Israel is going on in Middle East. And again, here we go. It's just astounding.
All the time they say Dave's not here.
Yeah.
But that's not true because
Dave's here. It's Dave. Hey, Dave, you're on the radio. Welcome aboard. How you doing, sir? What's up?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Kimmer. It's a pleasure to talk to you and all your crew there.
Thank you.
I heard you mention the Israeli airstrike on the nuclear facility. That was in Iraq. Right. It was called Operation Opera, and the youngest Israeli pilot that was flying is Ilan Roman, and turns out he was on that Columbia shuttle that burned up on reentry.
Oh my God! Wow! What that's horrible. What an interesting point of history. Wow! Holy cow!
Those Israelis don't mess around. If they see there's trouble coming, they're going to take care of it.
Well, see, I mean, again, I'm hardly a student of Middle Eastern history, but it just seems to me what I know about what's been going on the last 20 years, I can't believe that they thought that there would be a good outcome. Israel is going to, don't you, and now maybe I'm wrong, but I think just from listening to Netanyahu recently after all the trouble he's gone through and how divided the Israeli people were about their whole new Supreme Court judging and law system and so forth. I can't believe that the Israelis aren't all going to sign up to carry guns and march across the border and start killing every male they find. I mean, how do they think that Israel's not going to try to wipe them, Hamas, literally, finally off the face of the earth?
I think that is what needs to happen, but, there's you got to be nice, you can't do this, that, the other thing.
Oh, yeah. The reciprocal, it's got to be, what's the word I used a minute ago? Not reciprocal, an appropriate response.
Well, they're calling for a ceasefire immediately. It's like, wait a second, Israel has not had a chance to strike back.
Typical. But again, there's no such thing anymore of a strategic response that's legitimate to comparable with the one that happened that started it all. That's crap these days, and no more. There's no such thing as civilian casualties. Yes, sir.
And I think the U.S. needs to freeze that $6 billion.
Start over again. Yeah.
It all will only go to pay for food and humanitarian aid. So they'll take the money that they were spending on food for the populace, funnel it into the terrorists, and then, this is going to the food for our people.
Yeah.
And
well, Iran said Iran said we're going to spend it any way we want to. I mean, it wasn't a secret. I mean, and now the Democrats are complaining. Oh, well, no, you can't blame President Biden for any of this. Yes, we can. We can blame him for all of it. We can blame him for every stinking minute of it.
Well, look at the timing. Here's the money. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, you're right. Dave, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. 356.
Supposedly they have started to refreeze some of the money. I don't know how much had already gone over or whatever. Supposedly they have started. By the way, Jake Sullivan, one of the big advisors to the president, said last week that the Middle East is more peaceful now than it has been in 2 decades.
Got it right here. Y'all want to hear it?
Let's hear it. Here's it was 2 weeks ago, I think it was, or recently, a couple of days ago. Today, he said it. This moment today.
An hour ago.
20 seconds.
Our presence in Iraq is stable. I emphasize for now because all of that can change. And the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
Not anymore.
Yeah, sorry, mister. And again, Jake Sullivan is the guy who went to Hillary Rodham, Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage, with the fake Steele dossier and said, you know what, if we leak this to the media, we can start a whole Russian collusion thing with Donald Trump. And she said, God, let's do it over boom wham. There was the beginning of the collusion. That was the beginning of it. Jake Sullivan, who is still a national security advisor this minute to President Showers with daughter.
Should be in prison.
I mean, it's a coup. They did it.
They did. And Obama knew it, and Biden knew it.
They all knew it. In fact, the acting attorney general they complained about the girl from Atlanta who went, former big-time Charlie was the acting attorney general. The chick from Atlanta, I can't remember her name. I did this last time, too. I can't remember her damn name. Complained about Donald Trump. She knew about it. The FBI knew about it. Jim Comey knew about it. They all covered up for Hillary Rodham, Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage.
Yeah.
And when they interviewed her, they never put her under oath. And you said you can bring your lawyer, which is what they did not do to Mike Flynn, for example. Just the opposite. Again, the collusion with the FBI. But again, that's Jake Sullivan, who's linked in today as showing his incompetence, who did the Russian collusion thing.
Speaking of the FBI, how come in the United States of America you can walk around with a mask on your face, which you can't do here in Georgia, but you obviously can in New York, and show swastikas to Jewish people on the street, where if you were a MAGA supporter doing that, the FBI would have you in jail right now?
Well, not only that, they had, remember the FBI had them arrested, the people outside the family arrested for holding up signs and praying outside of an abortion clinic. That's against the law, but it's okay for an Arab to come up masked and threaten Jewish people?
With swastikas? Isn't that hate speech?
That's exactly what that's what the prayer at the abortion clinic was. It was violation. They could charge him with disorderly conduct. They could charge him with inciting public disturbance. They could charge him with refusing to obey a police officer's command to move along. I mean, you could charge him with all kinds of crap if you wanted to, which they did while they arrested grandmothers in the freaking Capitol on Ashley Babbitt Peaceful Protest Day.
Well, they talk about what's free speech. I understand it is free speech. If you're an American citizen, if you're a Palestinian or Hamas supporter on the streets of New York or any city, and you're showing people swastikas, and we say, excuse me, papers, please, and you're not a citizen,
scissors,
deport their ass.
Yeah. And by the way, how many Hamases came over across the border in the last 3 years? By the hundreds, dozens.
That's a good word for them, Hamases.
Hamases, yeah. Anyway, all right, 3. I got it's almost 4 o'clock. I can't believe it. And it's a Columbus Day. Now, is this still a federal holiday? Do they deliver mail today? I wonder. I left before the mail guy comes. Anyway, and I've got we got a lot of sports to talk about. And if anytime Nick calls in, we'll just take him.
I'll let you know.
Okay, not to worry. Everything's fine. Also, I've got a couple of great stories I'm saving for tomorrow, and maybe the war's over.
Yeah.
All right, it's almost 4 o'clock, and the party goes on here at the ballpark at the Battery. You're with Kimber, Pete, and Flounder at 106.3 coming up at 4 o'clock. Look out. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls on 106.3. Braves Day, big game tonight. And there's a party going on here at the radio station, which is kind of cool. We have sponsors and friends and families. We just, some guys came in and took selfies with us and made us feel good that they were actually, and there was a youngster, what was he, probably 14 maybe?
14,
15, something like that.
And he had a beer in his hand, good Lord.
Well, no, I think it was holding it for Dad, who was taking a picture. But anyway, and one of the guys was, I said, "Don't you know who this is? Don't you know who this is?" The kid said, "Let me out of here, will you?" You know, poor guy.
This is Crash Clark.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Anyway, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I didn't realize that. He kind of looks like an old Clash Clark.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, now speaking of special guests.
Crash.
No. Speaking of special guests, I think Nick Cellini's with. Is Nick on the line here this afternoon?
Yes, sir. Nick is on the line.
Nick, how you doing? And by the way, it's a good thing you're actually on the phone, because when Pete and I were talking, he says, well, have you got your question for Nick? And he said, well, thank God he's not going to be in the studio, because I wanted to ask you about how about that lineup from the Saturday game, huh? He said, you better not be near him if you ask him about that change in the lineup. Anyway, Nick, welcome aboard. Here we go. Tonight's a big game. Welcome aboard, sir.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, they threw me a curveball, every pun intended, with that lineup on Saturday. A lot of people, we were up there. There's a gathering up at the station now. There was one for the clients and family and friends up there prior to the game on Saturday, and that was the talk of the pregame. Nobody could really understand it. During the game, people were questioning it, and then obviously they were really questioning it after the game. It just didn't make any sense. I don't understand why they did it. The good news is they're back to their normal lineup tonight, if you will.
Yeah. There's a lot of people saying, we've been talking around up here, that this, with Max Fried on the mound, is a must-win. You have to get this win tonight. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I mean, you're not eliminated, but the odds are certainly stacked going back to Philadelphia with Bryce Elder probably pitching in Game 3. That's going to be, I think, the Braves' game plan, similar to what the Phillies did in Game 1. You're going to have Bryce Elder on a very, very short leash, and then you're going to go to the bullpen early and often, probably. So, yeah, you got to win tonight. You have to.
Wow.
And the Braves, they're playing 2 games in 8 days. That cannot help a lineup trying to get their timing right.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. There's got to be a way around this, and I don't know if they're going to change it at all. But, it's almost like you're being punished for having a great record. Your momentum is taken away. But don't forget, this team, ever since clinching the National League East, they've been sleepwalking to a certain extent. So the hope is they wake up tonight, because that was the first time in 770 days they were shut out at home on Saturday.
Wow. And by the way, since they claimed, well, we wanted to defer to the NFL for Sunday games, they played the American League playoffs on Sunday, so what the hell? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're being reasonable or fair or something to me, but what do I know? I don't know.
Well, there's an NFL game tonight as well, so by that rationale, you're right, Kimmer. It made even less sense.
Yeah. And by the way, would you ever pitch to Bryce Harper again this year, period, even if the bases are freaking loaded, yes or no?
They couldn't get him out the other night. He loves hitting here now. He loves hitting in a lot of different places, but you're right. They have to kind of figure out a way to pitch around him, or at least pitch him a lot smarter than they did, and not let him be such a big distraction on the bases as well with that pickoff throw that went awry that led to the Phillies' first run. He's doing everything and then some, and he enjoys the booze. It's almost like they should stand up and cheer. That might throw him off. I think he thrives on being like a wrestling heel. He thrives on the booze.
Saturday didn't start off well either when we found out that Kyle Wright's going to miss all of next season.
Yeah,
does this mean that they're going to have to go out and get 2 starting pitchers next year besides the ones they already have?
Yeah, it's a tough question, Pete. You're always in the market for a starter, and I go back to spring training when he had to get the cortisone shot. It was something that was bothering him, and obviously he tried to work through it, but it didn't work out. And you're, like I said, always in the market to get another arm in your rotation. But this is, you're losing a 20-game winner. Now, you gained a 20-game winner in Spencer Strider this year, but you just knew he wasn't right, no pun intended, the entire year. And now it's going to take him at least a year to recover, Kyle Wright.
Oh man, that's well. And by the way, it seems almost every day now that we have pitchers pretty much all throwing 100 miles an hour and with movement. I mean, it's not just throwing fastballs; they're throwing junk that moves that fast, and their arms are going. I mean, how many? I mean, it's just one after another. And I don't know. Do you think it's worth it? Is there got to be a new system now? Is the ball? I mean, has everything changed so much that we're costing our pitchers' arms as opposed to longevity? I don't know. Do you have a thought about that?
It's a weird deal. I think it's the other way around, Kimmer. I think they're babying these kids when they come up through. If you ask a guy like Tom Glavine or John Smoltz or a guy like Greg Maddux that worked with Leo Mazzoni, he would have them throw more. Yeah. In other words, you're building up your arm strength instead of managing everything you're doing, not to mention the fact that in this regard, they're throwing too much. When you talk about there not being really an off season, especially down in the South with baseball. You're playing baseball year round, and you're not getting a chance to play other sports. So, yeah, it's a little bit of both, but it is a cause for concern, that's for sure.
Well, I know, obviously, Nolan Ryan's a guy who said, he was a workhorse like crazy, but the problem for me was not that they're throwing a lot, but they're trying to throw too hard, and it's just, I don't know. Clearly, it seems to me that, when these guys keep going down, then it's just, something's got to give. I don't know. Anyway, Nick, anything? Any last thought, comment, worry about the Phillies tonight here in town?
Well, they're going to be tough. I mean, like I said, I told you guys on Friday, this thing's going 5, and I knew that they would get the split here. Hopefully, you get the split back in Philadelphia, and like I said, we come back home for a Game 5 situation next weekend. This is kind of like almost an early preview of what the World Series is going to be like. These are the best two teams. This is the best matchup. Again, said that on Friday, and it's going to live up to its billing. But they got to get the win tonight if this thing is going to go 5, because they're not going to come back. If they don't win tonight, I don't see them coming back to town.
Well, as a lifelong Braves fan, I'm tired of seeing the Phillies knock us out of a great season. Last year they did it. They did it back in '93 after they had caught the Giants and everything. It's time for the thing to change here. Mm-hmm.
Pete, if anything goes wrong tonight, run on the field. Try to change the
Naked.
And by the way, I'm predicting the Braves are going to score in the first inning. They're going back to what they've been doing all freaking year when everybody's, they did bing, bang, pow. First, I don't know whether it's going to be Acuna, but I'm telling you what, they're going to score in the first inning tonight. Mark my words.
All right, I will remember where I heard it first.
You are a worse jinx than Mark Bradley.
No, I'm not going to go to the game. I'm going to drive home and listen to Fleetwood Mac or something until I get home, and that'll turn on the game. Anyway, Nick Shelley, a real thrill. Thank you so much. Hope to talk to you again tomorrow, and go Braves, and we'll be listening to you in the morning, man. Thanks again very much. Really appreciate it.
Fellas. Hopefully we're talking about a win tomorrow.
Outstanding. Thank you. Nick Shelley right here. 4:11 with the Kipper Pete Flounder on Hamas War Day, too. I mean, there's so many
the party's heating up out there.
There's a lot of people in here. There's a lot of hugs going on and a lot of hot babes walking around here.
Not getting any hugs.
Why is it always the guys want to come see you guys?
Like 6 guys walked in here.
I can give you 5 reasons why that happened.
You know how many hot women there are in here right now, and not one of them is coming over to the...
Who are those old guys in there?
Yeah, right. Where'd he come from? Hell, remember when we had the party that winner's house, the winner of a contest at somebody's house, and we all showed up to have a New Year's Eve party or Christmas?
The Super Bowl party.
Super Bowl, was that it?
And the stupid sales guy didn't show up with any pizza.
But he forgot to bring the food, so there's nothing there. There was nothing going on. And then
Chance.
Chance. and then I remember I heard a couple of old people saying when I was in the kitchen or something, they said, "Who's that old guy?" about me in front of God. So who the hell is that old guy? Because everybody else was 28, 31 or something. I mean, Shannon Burke was there, and Kara. I mean, all of us, all the kids.
If I remember correctly, I actually think Chance asked Shannon to go get the food.
Yeah, somebody had to go pick up some food. Anyway, and they say, "Who's that old guy?"
There's a reason I chased him through the hallways that day.
Oh, Lordy. All right, 412 with the Kipper Pete and Flounder. God, I'm getting more voter canvassing thing. Are you getting all this on your phone?
What?
I'm getting text messages from voter canvassing. If you'd like to be part of it, we want to know your opinion about the number.
Nope, not getting any of that.
They don't want my opinion. By the way, it says Columbus Day, or Indigenous Peoples Day, or Leif Erikson Day. But some of the really interesting jokes going around on this particular day. Did you hear about the store offering a Columbus Day sale? It means you can walk in, take whatever you want, and kill anybody who tries to stop you.
That's also called Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. What do Jesus, Columbus, Washington, Lincoln, and MLK have in common? They were all born on holidays. Sorry. And one more. How do Native Americans celebrate Columbus Day? They walk into your house and say, "We live here now." That's a pretty good one there. 413 with a Kipper Pete and Flounder on Braves Day and Hamas War Day. We got more. Look out. Stand by. Kramer's got a adult beverage
Bourbon
here,
and Coke,
which I'll be sipping very slowly because I'm not much of a drinker.
Mistake.
And Pete Davis, who's not a drinker at all, is an eater, however, and that looks delicious. Is that a giant slider of some kind?
It's the most unique slider I've ever had. It's got a bun, and it's got cheese, and it's got a burger, and then that's it. There's no bun on the bottom of it, Flounder.
It must have fallen off. And are those chicken wings or
one's
drumsticks?
a chicken wing, drumstick, and this looks like, I don't know what it is. What is this? It looks like a chicken wrap.
No. That's one of the.
Like
That's a hot. No,
egg roll.
that's a. I bet that's a pepper. That's a cheesy pepper thing.
It looks like chicken and cheese.
Well, looks delicious.
I don't think our listeners care.
Well, you try it and see what happens.
All right. If I get you on leave.
I'll bet it's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fried. It's like a fried mini taco. Is it chicken?
It's chicken and cheese.
I'll be damned. 421. Anyway, sorry. Well, the Braves playing tonight, and they better win. I mean, they have to win. They just have to win. They're not going to win 3 in Philadelphia.
Well, they're only playing 2 in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right. 2-2, and I forgot what the fight.
So you are correct in yours.
But they're not going to win 3 in Philadelphia either way. But they're not going to win 2 in Philadelphia.
It's a little hot.
They might. Oh, it's got peppers. That's one of those hot pepper cheese things. It's a popper. They call those poppers. That's what it
ain't
is.
a popper. It ain't a popper.
That's not a popper?
It's just hot, yeah.
All right, anyway. All right, sorry, I got distracted. A quick break. It's Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder at 421. And there's war in Israel, Hamas, and stuff. We a lot to talk about that and what's going on and so forth, and we will keep you posted. Quick birthday, Scott Bakula, or Bakula? Bakula, I think it is. Bakula. Is 69. I never watched his show. He's on a special agent on NCS New Orleans. Sci-fi fans know him as Quantum Leap guy and Star Trek Enterprise. And I've never seen any of those. I never watched Quantum Leap, and I know everybody else.
I didn't either, but the Enterprise, I thought was one of the better ones.
I never saw it.
And no one liked it. I loved it.
I've never seen it. The last I saw all the Star Trek with Spock. I mean, with Spock and what's his name? Whose name again will not come out of my mouth.
What was weird about that?
Shatner. Yeah.
Enterprise was before that.
Yeah, the preview.
It was the ship before. Kirk.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so Spot Bakula is 69, I think I said today. And a quick history note. Here we go. 2009, President Barack Hussein Puditat wins the Nobel Peace Prize
for nothing.
For his leadership in dividing the races, starting with Ferguson, Missouri, and then leading through the George Floyd riots and causing the hatred and violence of the last 3 years for his guilt of being outed as the first gay president. I guarantee he or she ties him up. Man, he asks for it. She spikes him up. All right, 423.
Okay. I know one thing. I wouldn't be a chef for them. They're 0 for 2,
you
aren't
tend
they?
to die. Yeah. Don't go in the water. They told you don't go in the water after eating with this food. I don't know. Anyway, Netanyahu now saying the Palestinian gunmen are still inside Israel. I will be surprised if Israel doesn't start. I guess they're responding now. Have they done an airstrike since the threat came?
I don't know.
The latest we heard is Hamas said if Israel. Oh well, put it this way: every time Israel commits an airstrike on a civilian population at Hamas, they will assassinate and do it live streaming, assassinate a hostage. And I don't think there's been an airstrike since then, which is kind of surprising. I guess they're trying to figure out how to do this. But again, these days, there's no such thing as collateral damage. Everybody is a casualty of war.
There's a story of an Israeli couple. They saved their 10-month-old twins. They hid them in the home. And then both the man and the woman fought the terrorists as they came in the house. They both died, but the twins survived.
Oh, my God. Slaughter them all. Just kill every freaking one.
Just line up the 18 to 45-year-old men
and mow them down.
Make them prove that they weren't in Hamas. And if they can't, well, tough.
I mean, this is just.
I always thought you could line the tanks up and march them west and push them into the sea and let either swim to Lebanon or swim to Egypt, but you're not staying here.
Well, I mean, I don't know why. It seems to me it would be that simple. I mean, the
world would be against them. Oh, my God, the poor Palestinians. I used to feel a little bit for the Palestinians. I really did. But now, after what they've been doing, especially this, I don't care. I don't care about any of them anymore.
They got to be exterminated.
Well,
Hamas, not Arab countries. I'm just saying Hamas has got to be eliminated.
You got to get rid of
Hamas has got to go.
And Hezbollah as well.
I mean, that's not racist. That's not homophobic or Islamophobic.
Yeah, Trump got rid of ISIS, and look what Biden's done.
Exactly. Yeah. And basically, they're doing what ISIS did. Slaughtering and torture. Again, the story of the woman who was a peacenik. Israeli who refused to serve in the Israeli military, which is mandatory, and she refused to support either side. And she was at one of these parties, right? Wasn't she? The night before they were having a party, hundreds and thousands of people there, and this is where the hang glider secretly sneaked in the air at night. And again, we were thinking, the partygoers must have thought, boy, what a great celebration! Look at, oh my God, they got people flying in for this party to celebrate the end of the holiday. And it was like what's the name of the party we have here in the
Burning Man.
Burning Man. And so all of a sudden the hang glider people with machine guns come in and start mowing them down. You can see the video of them taking hostages, including women who are screaming, begging for their lives. Please, no, help, screaming and dragging them by the hair, dragging them by whatever, killing them. And this one woman, tell them what happened to this one woman who was a peacenik who refused to fight for Israel.
Well, they basically, they got her, they probably raped her, they tore her clothes off and displayed her in front of the cameras, then they killed her and drug her body around the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, not only did they do that, they broke her arms and legs after she died.
They desecrated the body, basically. And one thing about her that gets me, she's dancing, having a good time, thinking she's safe. Why does she think she's safe? Because there's other people her age that are serving in the military to keep her safe, and she refused to do so.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But the video of these women being drug off and screaming and hollering and crying as they're being drug off.
It's heartbreaking.
And they're being screamed. Yeah, the Jeeps are dragging. Look at this poor girl screaming, please help me, please help me. There's nobody to help her.
Hysterical. Wait, what are you going to do?
Those people around there, those are look at those people. They're not. That's not human.
Yeah.
That's not a human being doing that to her.
They are having so much fun dragging these people to be slaughtered. And again, they're showing the video.
They've given up their human card. This is a war between civilization. It's biblical. It's biblical. Yeah. Between civilization and barbarism. Do you want the barbarians to win? Well, keep marching in New York City, holding up the Jews for Palestine and gays for Palestine.
And by the way, the word biblical is absolutely appropriate because, again, we Americans tend to think in the short term, and even in our short term might be 20 or 30 or 40 years. They're planning for the 1,000 years that they will never stop. They will never stop.
No, it's been going on since the Crusades, which, by the way, we didn't start the Crusades. The Muslims did by attacking a Jewish and Christian city called Jerusalem and taking it because they think their guy, Muhammad, ascended to heaven on the back of an ass and floated up to heaven from Jerusalem. By the way, they built that mosque on top of the old temple.
Yeah.
So it's a Jewish temple should be there, not the mosque.
By the way, it's a big headline now on Hamas hostage ultimatum. Here we go. I mean, they're just, I can't believe.
Well, now they're saying if Israel bombs civilian targets without warning, they'll execute the hostages. So they're backing
off a little. Well, that probably then is at the moment a reasonable response. If they have now, on the other hand, Israel can't possibly just not do anything.
Well, they did a few weeks ago. They opened up their borders and let the Palestinians come over en masse to work at jobs, to have careers, to be actual human, civilized beings. And what did they do? They used it to reconnaissance and find out where the soft spots were, to smuggle weapons in and use it against them.
Well, I assume that there's going to be an effort now to get rid of everybody they let in. If they know where they are, do they have to sign up and register and all this kind of so they know what jobs and everything else? And if they've been part of this, I mean, how can you trust anybody? I mean, this is
you can't. They can't ever do this again. They screwed themselves. The Palestinians, who, by the way,
forever.
The Hamas is running them. Yeah. There's nothing they can do about it. If they're ones who want peace, they can't do anything about it because Hamas is running the whole place. They've screwed the Palestinians who really wanted a job from ever getting one again. The Israelis cannot let them back in the country.
I also, again, the worst thing in terms of a student of Middle Eastern history is it's still the fight over geography. What is Hamas? Did they expect to just suddenly take the land in Israel?
They want Jerusalem back. They want that back since they lost that. If they hadn't started the war in 67, they wouldn't have lost it.
Yeah.
By the way, there's 11 dead Americans now, according to Biden.
Oh, okie how would he know? He's on vacation. He took the day off. He had a party yesterday and a barbecue with a live band yesterday while this is going on. Today, he took the day off at 11 in the morning.
11 dead Americans, and our president isn't saying a word.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
Definition of a coward.
And it's
his fault, and he knows it. It's his fault. Well, he doesn't know it. He don't know either.
Somebody should tell him. Really, they should. Sir, it's your fault.
It's green Jello time.
Yeah, mommy. 4:30. Kevin, Pete, and Flounder. So much going on here today. Holy moly. sponsors and fun. It's going to be great. So go to extra1063.com or 680thefan.com and sign up, and we'll see. And I guess are we going to be there? We'll be there, right?
I have
are we going to
no
do our
idea.
show there, or do we have any idea? Flounder's in the back. Sorry, we got to get him a freaking stewardess. I'm sorry. Do we know? Are we going to be a part of this or what?
Yes, I believe you might be the head major D or something like that.
Oh my God! Well, so now would we be doing our show from there?
No, nothing like that.
Oh.
Just, you might be the host.
Oh, my God.
Say a nice few words before the tee-off and stuff like that.
Always happy to do whatever they would like.
We'll
me
be
to
playing golf that day.
Excellent. Well, I even
so
more
will you,
fun.
Pete.
And by the way,
well, it's the first time hearing about this.
Get your box of clubs ready.
Yeah, I
have a golf
box of
but
clubs.
I have a bag to put my clubs
box
in.
of clubs in. All right, sir.
I literally
He
have a
showed
bag.
up at the last one, the golf tournament, with a box in the cardboard box, and the club still had the covering on the irons, had the plastic covering with rubber bands covering the head of the irons, and he played with that like that with a box on the golf court and with the heads on the
Shot a 67. It was amazing.
67 or 66. Yeah, I keep playing from the back tees. 440 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder
With Jägermeister in my veins.
Oh God, that stuff is so bad. Oh God, I mean, it's cough syrup.
I love it.
And we were all hammered by it too. Well, they had hot babes giving us drinks every hole,
Oh, yes.
or vice versa. I don't remember. Anyway,
Then did you guys go to Tanner's?
Tanner's Chicory. That's why I asked, because I did my show live after the last Kimmer's Snowball Open or whatever it was, and I was so freaking hammered. It was very embarrassing. Anyway, 441 with a Kimmer,
Almost as
Pete.
embarrassing as the Tony Shalhoub incident.
Well, no, nothing will be as embarrassing as that. That was so bad. Oh Lord. Anyway, and by the way, we got the war with Hamas and Israel and stuff, and at the moment, I don't see a lot of blowing activity, bombs and stuff. So there may be.
It's nighttime over there.
Yeah. So we'll see. But again, that's where it starts when you can see the real explosions all over the place. A couple of things that got the poor bastard Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced his intention to have a third party today. He announced it today while there's a war going on. And I don't know if anybody even do we actually have any comments? Sorry, Flounder's way back. Are you doing a phone? You have a phone call?
No, I was editing something, but we had the audio already run.
Here's
you want to hear that?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was basically ignored. Fox, I don't think, has even covered it at all today, and he's been basically ignored. But he made a major announcement about politics today.
We do have a phone call.
This country is ready for a history-making change. They are ready to reclaim their freedom, their independence. And
I saw that and I thought, is that an assassin?
He also went on to say, I'm an independent candidate. He didn't come by the decision lightly. It's painful for me to let go of the party. My uncles, my father, my grandfather, and so on and so forth. And by the way, his own family is kind of condemning his decision as deeply saddening. And now the other question is, what does this mean? Oh, hey guys, how you doing, folks? Good to see you. Everybody look at this. The World Series champions, Pete Davis, is now talking.
I have that T-shirt.
That's right, and we got the whole families out there and hot babes everywhere. See, that's right. There's this big window right in front of our studio, so this has got to.
We're like monkeys in the zoo.
Monkeys in the zoo. Well, it was like what's about the monkeys who were smarter than the humans? The monkeys take
Planet
over.
of the Apes?
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So we're not throwing things at the window.
No, I can do a little something if they want. Anyway, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. officially announcing now, is this good or bad for him or for either party?
Depends who you talk to. A lot of this so-called in the know say it's going to hurt Trump, and others say it's going to hurt Biden. So who knows?
I mean,
Biden's toast.
Well, you would think.
Or
But
we're
at
toast.
some
Either
point-
Biden's toast or this country is toast.
Well,
There's no way he can get back in there.
Maybe the only good news about this is it's going to eventually force the Democrats to, fish or cut bait.
He's
with
the
Biden.
worst president in the history
Yeah.
of this country. The worst.
Yeah.
There's not even a debate anymore. What this guy's one failure. Name me something he succeeded at besides giving these grifters in college free tuition.
Well, he's
that
saying,
we're paying for.
Well, now, just a minute, mister. I believe we both have to admit that the economy's a lot better. 10 days ago, I paid $5.10 for gasoline. The other day, I paid $4.91. So, get off my ass about the economy, all right?
Well, how about this? The fact that
$4.90 for gas.
gas was just coming down. It was supposed to be down for Halloween.
Yeah, huh?
And because of this, this,
Yeah.
it's going to go back up again. And this idiot gave away or sold all our strategic oil reserves to try and bring inflation down, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Walt's on the line, wants to yell at you.
Excellent. Walt, please yell at me. I love it. 444, you're on the radio. What's up?
It's a golf course. A grassy golf course, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Treasy, too.
A treasy golf course.
Yeah, the treasy, too.
Yes, sir.
Well, you don't want a whole lot of treesies.
No, not that many, no.
No, I was talking about the border.
Yeah.
Since the border's been open for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
And they say they caught some terrorists that are on their list.
Yeah.
How many have they let go, or how many have gotten by?
Right.
What my concern is, they better put some extra guards on companies that make and distribute ammonium nitrate, because remember what happened in Oklahoma City? It was a truckload of ammonium nitrate that blew up that building.
Yeah.
And no telling who. They better be watching that real close.
Well, the problem, they're not watching anything. I mean, this is like...
They're watching us.
I mean, this is absolutely, appalling that this would even be going on in America. And they claim, well, we're just doing the right thing because they're refugees. They're not refugees. All these people coming across, and who knows what they're doing now? They're gone. When they come across, they say, well, you need to come back and promise you'll come back in 2025 to have your hearing. In 2025.
Right. Yeah. All 10 million of them. Yeah.
Man, well, listen,
Yeah.
thanks, man. I appreciate you calling. I don't know what the answer. I mean, this is
They are monitored. They're monitoring me and you and MAGA people and Catholics and parents that go into school board meetings. That's who they're monitoring.
Yeah. And remember, the FBI admitted that they were able to monitor people during the daytime outside of abortion clinics, but they don't monitor the people throwing fire bombs at night because they really can't see them in the dark. Remember, they actually said that. Well, we can get them during the day because they're so visible, it's easy to find them. But in the nighttime, they move around in secret. It's kind of hard to get. Oh, my God. Freaking 446 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Falande. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. 4:50, call it 10 before 5. Holy crap, it's sports coming up. Do we have a Flounder's Funnies? We've been talking about the stupid war thing for so long.
I got some in my pocket here, yes, sir.
At some point, we'll do a little something here. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And who's playing? Who do you have here, Flounder? Who is
the late, great Tom Petty.
Oh, Tom Petty, of course. I should have recognized by the sound. I wasn't really listening while I was talking. I have one of his songs on my Magic Stick.
Which one?
Won't Back Down. Love that song. I really like that song. And he's been dead for like 6 years now or something. I remember we talked
in 2018. I think is when he passed.
Yeah, maybe. Birthdays today include Sharon Osbourne, 71 today. Sharon Osbourne, 71 years old. And let's see, is this day in history? Oh, this is kind of interesting. Flashback as a kid. 1872. Not that flashback with me as a kid in 1872. But on this day, and it seems like it sometimes, on this day in 1872, Aaron Montgomery started his mail order business with delivery of the first catalog, later to become Montgomery Ward. And then, of course, between Montgomery Ward and the Sears catalogs, you remember? Are you old enough to remember the Sears catalog and the Montgomery Ward catalog coming in the mail?
Yeah.
And the poor mailman, oh my God! And by the way, they didn't have trucks. I mean, they were carrying back then, and they had these huge, 8-pound catalogs.
Yeah, we'd always go to the lingerie section.
Well, it's the first time
catalog.
a lot of people saw bras and panties.
Yes. Totally.
And with good-looking women wearing them. And that was the other thing. But they weren't just hanging on a hook. They were being worn by women. They were being modeled. And that's a lot of us kids. That's that in National Geographic, which every family I know had. And that's where I saw my first bare boob was in National Geographic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't think they do those pictures anymore.
I don't think they probably could. That was 1872. Montgomery Ward started.
Kind of got a little breaking news here.
All right, sir.
Who's Blinken? What is his official
He's the
title?
Secretary of State, slime bag.
This idiot calls for a ceasefire. He's deleted.
Oh my God!
He's deleted the tweet.
Yeah, how about delete his? How about a punch in the face? How about somebody just go punch him right in the face? Would that be? Is that
that's
like a crime?
the day after 9/11.
My God!
Someone saying the United Nations going, "Oh, come on, America. We know you got hit, but let's have peace on both sides. Call for a ceasefire,
please.
Bull.
Now we need revenge.
Yeah, revenge, justice,
punishment,
justice.
Yeah,
is what we need.
Yeah, it's all kind of running in together.
What do we got going? Oh,
yeah, that's true. Now it's picture time. I mean, these cowards. I mean, it just figures. Surrender. It's like the freaking French. It's just what's the new America?
The French are tougher than we are now.
I can't believe it, and I don't understand why Hamas started this. I mean, Pete's explained, and we've had some other experts. Pete knows a lot about this.
Victor Davis Hanson agrees with me completely. Yeah. It's the damn treaty that set them off.
They wanted treaty,
and they're emboldened because of Iran getting that money, and Iran thinks that Biden is weak, which is why they never pulled anything under Trump. Putin never tried anything under Trump. That must have been just the hugest coincidence in the world that they tried this crap under Obama and Biden, but for 4 years they forgot to do it.
Yeah, and not long after we gave them $6 billion too. So I mean, it's just hard to believe to let them Iran do their thing. Anyway.
Oh, Turkey's calling for a ceasefire, and our stupid Secretary of State says, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea."
Turkey's leader told us to stay out of it yesterday in a tweet. Also,
well, Turkey can kiss our ass. Is what they do.
Yeah, stick to your sandwiches.
But here's the thing, Turkey. If it's not Iran, Turkey wants to be the big player over there, too.
Well, they're almost.
They were up until 1917, after the end of World War I, when they picked the wrong side. Yeah. And the Ottoman Empire, the sick man of Europe, went down. They remember those days. At least their granddaddies told them about it. Yeah. And they want it back.
Yeah. 4:54 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
Damn Ottomans.
It's hard to believe.
Stick to making sofa things.
And now they're saying at least 11 Americans killed now in Israel. And who knows? And again, it's politics. It's all this is happening under the worst, most dangerous president we've ever had.
What's his name here? Alberto Miguel Fernandez is a retired U.S. diplomat. When he heard what Blinken said, he says, "Are there any actual adults in charge in Foggy Bottom?"
Yeah, these are children.
And they said they were the adults. The adults are back in charge. They're all woke little teenagers.
It's really, I've never known this about my country. People are posing for pictures actually in front of a statue in front of our window. So they're not posing. There you go. They're not posing with us. They're posing with a statue, but we're in the background. So now we're all laughing and posing with a picture. So sorry, we get a little distracted here. It's a party. Screw it. We're having a great time. It is a stinking Monday. It's a beautiful day, and the Braves are going to have to win. There's little girls and the little mommies and everything. Hi, kiddos. Good to see you. Anyway, hi, darling. Good to see you. I love little girls, little kids, my daughters. I miss my little girls and my little granddaughter, Molly, and Brady. And anyway.
Am I going to have to go to the board?
No, Molly.
Don't make me go to the board.
Molly had a horse show, and she got ribbons and little flowers and stuff. It's just it just makes me happy and melancholy and happy. I'm not crying. I'm very happy right now.
Okay.
No, it's true.
And tears of joy.
And by the way, well, I've got a whole car story. I'll save it for tomorrow because we got too much going on, but all this kind of other stuff. But it had a happy ending and a surprise. Flounder, I'll bet you won't believe this, but the surprise happy ending for my car disaster weekend story is what happened when I, at Pete's urging, found a slot for my magic music stick. And something very weird and unusual happened, mysteriously happened, concerning all of the Fleetwood Mac posts you put on it in a row, which doesn't make anyway. It's an incredible story. Well, I have to save it for later because it's true. I don't want to do personal stuff with me on a day when we have all this crap happening over in the thing there with the thing. Oh, by the way, Holy Crap at Sports coming. Oh, should we do a little Flounders Funny? Just
absolutely. Let's
4:56 and Holy Crap at Sports coming up in about 20 minutes.
This is John Christ, and he's talking about
John Christ.
Chris. I'm sorry, Chris.
He does religious humor too, by the way.
Yes, he does.
I must. Yeah.
Anyways, here he's talking about country music band names.
Excellent.
No better comedy than white people in country music trying to solve racism. Like Lady Antebellum, they changed their name. You know what their new name is? You know the Dixie Chicks, they changed their name. What's their name now? And here's how my brain works. I'm a comedian. I was like, man, we got to keep going with this. I want to see more country bands change their names, Like, think about it. I was like, Keith Urban? That man lives on a farm. Okay, that is cultural appropriation. Somebody needs to talk to Clint Black, I'll tell you that. That's Clint African American, okay? We need to get that switched up. Somebody needs to talk to Uncle Cracker immediately. Shoot, I'm surprised George Strait hasn't been canceled at this point.
That's an amusing take on names and stuff. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, can I do something really stupid? This is really bizarre. We got a minute for the news, and what the hell? We'll come back with actual newsy stuff. All right, I got to find it. It's way back on my thing, and then I've got it back on the thing here. No, it's not that far back. Hold on. Here it is. All right. For some, once, maybe twice a day, I will go into Twitter or X to see if there's something I should be familiar with. I don't do Twitter. I've never posted on Twitter. I'm not a social media guy. I do it because I have to and things like that. Okay. So all of a sudden, the other day, I'm looking at Twitter, and somebody made a whole Twitter series of things, and it's called My All-Time Favorite Window Lines. A line of a sentence with the word window in it. That's a thing on Twitter now. Trending my all-time favorite window lines, such as, broken hearts and dirty windows make life difficult to see. Or, I looked out the window until I saw too much. Or,
well, these haikus?
I don't know. I'm telling you, this was on Twitter. This is what people do. They look up stuff like this, say, well, I've heard a sentence with the word window in it, I'll post that myself. I mean, it's the damnedest thing. People do this. Another one. If you don't sit facing the window, you could be in any town. All right, then. How about one more? When the memories dim, grab a window seat. I mean, just
I want to kill myself.
But again, this is why I don't do this. I guess this is what people post all day.
Remember, we did a whole show on people called in with their limericks they made up?
Yeah.
Why don't we do a haiku show one day?
I don't. I used to do limerick. I don't have any. Couldn't do a haiku if
it's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Well, it's kind of like, Johnny Midnight.
Sounds like what you were just reading.
Anyway, coming up at 5 o'clock, Kim Repeat and Flounder moves the war in Hamas, and Iowa's caved in for politics. And Pete Sport, we got it all coming up. Stand by 5 o'clock. Look out.
Stop.
That was close.
That's very close.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Go Berets! Look out, it's 5:03 and it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder. 106.3. Braves game tonight in an hour and 2 minutes. 5:04 now.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. 6:07. I got that wrong once again. Anyway, and of course the war is going on in Israel, although I don't see any live strikes of bombing. Of course, it's nighttime.
The sun's coming up, it looks like.
Well, I guess it is dawn breaking over there. What are they, 7 hours ahead? So, well, yeah, no, that can't be right. They're not 12
England's
hours ahead.
5 or 6, so...
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe they are 12.
Wait a minute, don't we have a clock here? London's at 10 o'clock. London's 5 ahead of us.
Right.
So they're
Bangkok
at least 7 or 8.
Anyway, but there, the smoke and dust and explosion bombs, just rubble, and I mean it's been a war zone.
Kiev's north of that, right? Isn't Kiev north of just north of Israel? If you go up Eastern Europe.
Oh God, I don't know. I can't.
Well, it says it's noon in Ukraine, so it's around noon. Yeah. It's either 1 or 11.
Anyway, Hamas is now threatening to execute hostages if Israel doesn't warn them before bombing or whatever. And oh my God.
Helen wants to talk to you.
Helen's on the radio here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Helen, happy Monday. Sorry, there's a war going on, kind of depress our spirits here. But other than that, baby, what's going on?
Why, Kimmer? First of all, time zones are a question of latitude, not longitude. So Kiev being north doesn't make a difference. It's a question of how
we're trying to figure out.
Than we are.
We're trying to figure out if they're on the same line.
6 hours ahead. Continental Europe is 6 hours ahead.
All right,
I can't help you after that.
Okay, thank you.
But anyway.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to hear you. Your voices are the soundtrack of my life. I've been listening to y'all on the radio since Marconi quit.
You poor thing. Need a man.
Locked in this room.
Yes, ma'am.
But your Windows thing, I heard a cute thing, or read a cute thing on the interwebs over the weekend. I thought I'd pass on to you.
Yeah, please do.
What did God say when he created ducks?
What did God say when he created ducks?
Yes,
I don't know.
Nope.
What did he say?
Somebody waterproof that chicken and give it a kazoo.
He goes to the restaurant. Shall I put this on my bill? Oh, sorry. Oh, hey.
Hey, ho.
Look out.
Paddle on.
I love it. Well, that was
we're out here listening to you.
All right, thank you. You're very sweet. Thank you, and have a great day.
So this guy walks into the psychiatrist's office with a duck on his head.
Yeah.
And the psychiatrist says, "Can I help you?" And Duck says, "Yeah, can you get this guy off my ass?"
Oh, hey.
But we're talking about Kiev because if it's just north, then it's probably
the
same time zone.
Yeah,
that's what we meant.
Right. No,
it's midnight in Israel.
Yeah.
Is it midnight in Israel?
Well, there you go.
So
now it's live Gaza City now in the dark.
Well, it says noon. It said 12, so we're figuring it was noon, so I guess it was midnight.
All right. Well, so it's 7 hours.
So we're idiots.
5.
That's what we're saying here.
Anyway, you see fires burning in buildings, stuff. So there's been a war. But again, I don't know whether there's been any airstrike retaliation. What now? Are they in a lull? I mean, is that it?
No. Netanyahu says that we haven't even begun to fight.
The last I heard, Netanyahu says, you just made the worst mistake of your life. It's over. We're going to come and eliminate you now.
I saw last night they've got 100,000 troops already lining up at the border. They're going to call up 250,000.
All right. Now, okay. Again, this is my mistake. I've been dealing with car stuff, and I didn't. I was going to look at maps and stuff like that. What would prevent Israel from lining up the tanks and their artillery and their troops and just heading to Hamas?
The buildings. I mean, you can't run through the buildings.
Why not?
Because they're tall buildings, they'd fall on top of the tanks.
Well, then blow them. Well, then you blow them up from a distance and just keep going. I mean, what's the?
Because the international outcry of they put people in there and they say, "Oh, you blew up 400 people."
Well, they're going to die. I mean, if he's serious, the only way to, otherwise Hamas is going to keep getting hostages and keep getting civilians and keep putting them in homes and in buildings and businesses.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So that you can't go you can't blow up the buildings because you'll be killing your own people. So the fact of the matter is, you're going to have to tell the Israelis, by the way, if you are kidnapped or a hostage of these Hamas people, you're probably going to die because we're going to kill them.
That's why I think this is going to be different than the others. They're going to have to go door to door door to get rid of Hamas. And he says this is it. This is going to change everything.
This is the ball game. He promised that. And again, I guess they're doing their final planning. Because
so this isn't going to happen in a day or two unless there's some kind of international pressure to stop it and the Palestinians give in. Because otherwise, Israel's going to try and kill every one of the Hamas.
As they should.
Yes, as they should.
Again, we're not calling for the extermination of the Arab world.
Are they really Arabs? I mean, Palestinians. So they're their own little thing.
We're calling for the extermination of the terrorists whose only goal in life is to murder and assassinate and kill. And again, they're dragging people. They're raping women, cutting off their arms and legs, displaying their dead bodies in piles. I mean, it's just the atrocities. You literally can't describe it.
Remember the PLO, and everybody was afraid of the PLO back in the 60s and 70s. There was Yasser Arafat and everything. And they went to, where was it, Oslo? Or there's somewhere in Scandinavia where they actually came to an agreement where the Palestinians would have their own state. And the Arafat goes, no, wait a minute. They'll probably vote me out then, and we'd have to actually do a government. No, I don't want that. I want what I'm doing now. So they refused to take the state, which Israel offered them. And basically, Hamas showed up and said, you guys are a bunch of pussies. And basically threw PLO out and took over. And it's been a terrorist state ever since.
Well, clearly, I don't think Israel is going to take this. Let's see. Now saying more than 1,000 Israelis killed by Hamas, at least 11 Americans killed by Hamas. And it's possible now that they're saying there may be American hostages. Well,
what do you do
now
then?
Let me ask you this. If you're an American hostage and you're captured by Hamas, doesn't that then require a response from America? Should not then and they've killed 11 Americans. They killed Americans.
Remember what Trump said when Iran was threatening? He goes, don't you, and he said to the president of Iran, he goes, don't you ever threaten the United States again, or things will happen to you that have never happened.
Never seen on this world.
Right.
Yeah. And again, as far as I'm concerned, if we have, we have assassination teams, we have hit teams, we have killer squads. Most of them are not of the CIA. Most of them are the State Department. But they're real and they're active and they're legitimate. And I'm telling you, the fact that now Hamas, by the way, this is not attacking a foreign country. It's not like I'm calling for us to attack, Iraq or Iran or Egypt or Saudi Arabia. We're talking about attacking a terrorist group, a group of a coordinated group of terrorists. This is not a country we're talking about. And go kill them all. What hell? Ross Perot had his own. Remember, he had his own private army to go kill the bad guys back when he was running for president. Remember that? And that worked out pretty good actually for a while there. The Black what's the name? Black Ops Company. What the hell was it? Black Rock? No, not Black Rock. Whatever.
Vanguard.
Yeah. Anyway, and go kill them all. They killed Americans. And if they have American hostages, go kill them all. Go over there right now. Why don't they have the freaking recon Marines and Special Forces and the Navy SEALs just go kill them all?
You notice one thing about Gaza they never show? A blade of grass.
Yeah, burned buildings and rubble.
There's not a blade of grass.
Yeah.
That music festival was where all those paratroopers came down. It was all dirt.
Yeah. Desert. It was all desert.
Yeah. And again, if you missed it, they were having a party their big celebration party, and the killers came by hang glider.
And
paragliders into the night with machine guns to mow down the crowd, slaughter them, drag the women off screaming and hysterical, crying and screaming, no, please, please. They were raped, tortured, bodies chopped up, and left naked in the streets as trophies. That's Hamas. That's Hamas. Now, do you have any problem with going to get those people? Seriously.
Our government does. Our government does.
What is your pride? Blinken calls for a ceasefire. Why didn't Blinken, you testicleless little pansy, you should have been saying, we're going to kill all of you now. We're going to kill all of you. Make your plans and say bye-bye to mommy and daddy, because we're going to kill every one of your freaking sons, and we're going to kill every one of your fathers, and then we're going to kill all the women so they can't breed. How about that?
We're not going to do that.
For Hamas.
Hamas.
Not all, the whole world, just Hamas. First you kill the daddy, then you kill the son so they can't breed, and then you kill the mommy so they can't breed either.
Just the Hamases.
Every stinking one of the Hamases.
The Hamases.
I mean, seriously, what the hell are we waiting? What's the problem? You think that's ungodly? You don't think God used to do stuff like that?
Old Testament, yeah.
You're damn right, my friend. You think God would have a problem with us? I don't think so.
I'm not going to speak for God. I'm not going to go that far.
Boom, smut his freaking head off. No, I'm serious.
I don't think God is Jackie Gleason. I'm not picturing Jackie Gleason when I think God.
I gotta go. You're killing me. 5:13 with a Kimmer Pete Flounder. Holy crap! It sports is next.
Oh boy.
about that and a lot of sports coming up here because at 5:18, and that's what we call Holy Crap at Sports with Pete Davis.
Braves in what I call a must-win situation tonight over there at Truist Park. They have to. They have to. That's called must-win. That's why they have to do it.
So, you pull all stops if you use your closer in the third inning. I mean, whatever you got, you can't lose this game.
They cannot
lose this game.
Game 2 against the Phillies. They got shut out in Game 1 Saturday 3-0. Kind of a weird lineup. They're back to the regular lineup tonight. I don't know what was going on, but whatever. The most prolific offense in baseball history got blanked by the likes of Ranger Suarez in the bullpen. Spencer Strider pitched well, but the bats were silent the other night. We call that postseason baseball. It happens. Yeah. We also call that playing one game in 6 days and just 2 games in 8. Nice scheduling job there, MLB. That's really good.
Wrong. It's bad.
Now, Max Fried will be on the bump tonight. It's a must-win. If they go down 2-0 and have to go to Philadelphia with a Bryce Elder or bullpen games, the uphill climb becomes the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be good. Zach Wheeler for Philly tonight. He's a local kid, and he's a good pitcher. Mm-hmm. So they got their job cut out for him tonight. Mm-hmm. By the way, our sponsors for the NLDS Breakdown segment are Marietta Toyota, Truist Bank, Alternate Career Sports Academy, Aqua Guard. Yeah, we almost got everybody in there on that one.
We got your water.
Found it.
Let's try it one more time.
I'll try it.
1, 2, 3.
Aqua Guard. Well, now Marietta's going to want to do a jing. I mean,
Marietta Toyota.
No, you just can't
We're
start
gonna sing
with all of them.
Solomon Brothers.
Oh, my jewelers.
Subaru of Gwinnett. I mean, that's the official car of North Georgia. Every other car is a Subaru, where I live now.
Well, there you are.
I'm telling you. They're sturdy cars.
Well, there you are.
This is not a good day in Braves playoff history. I have to tell you this.
No,
I'm telling you, 2005. The Braves fell to the Astros 7-6. Game 4 of the NLDS, a walk-off home run by somebody named Chris Burke. The game was the longest postseason game ever. Lasted 18 innings, took 5 hours and 50 minutes. I watched every second of it at Manuel's Tavern.
Yeah, there you go.
Imagine how drunk we were at the end of that.
I cannot possibly imagine how drunk you were.
And there was a funny incident involving someone, not me, passing gas at the bar, but I won't bore you with that story.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
Okay, I'll tell you about it. So anyways, there's this lady there, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, and she was a few feet away from our table, and she was really upset, just really upset about the Braves, doing this or doing that and everything. She's standing at the bar, and she accidentally cut loose, and it was loud. And so it's
reverberating off a mahogany chair.
Yes. There was a second, a pause, and then she started plopping her feet like a horse, as if that was what the noise was. And of course, we're all sitting there. And what was funny, no one said a word.
My shoes.
No one said a word. 10 minutes later, my friend looked at me and goes, "Did you hear so-and-so fart?" I was like, I did. I was not the only one. Anyway, 2019, Mike Fultonevich gave up 10 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, and it's incredible because he's pitching tonight, and he feels just like he did 10 years ago. It's an incredible story. So this obviously going to happen again tonight, or that's why history's important for 10 years ago. Or,
the Cardinals
I don't understand.
13-1.
12 years ago, the Braves lost, and it's not a good sign.
I found out about this while waiting for an MRI at Piedmont Hospital, so it wasn't a good day at all. But I remember sitting there going, well, I get home, I got it. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to the radio. I'm going to go home and watch them win.
Right.
I got it recorded. And I'm sitting there, and I'm the only person left to go to the MRI because it's late.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in and goes, he just gave up 10 runs in the first inning. And I'm glad he did, because if I had gone home and watched that.
Was that when you lost your gallbladder? Was that the gallbladder thing?
Let's see, 2009. No, that was afterwards. I forget I was.
I was on a plane to Colorado, and I landed and looked at. I got my internet back on my phone, and I was like, "What the hell just happened?" It was the first inning.
First inning. Well, it was like, I'll talk to this in a second. But in 2021, Max Fried tossed 6 shutout innings. The Braves even up their division series, a 3-0 win in Game 2 against the Brewers. So that was very good there for them. Meanwhile, Braves organist Matthew Kaminsky, who I had on the show when you were having your little heart attack problem.
Oh, yeah, right.
When I filled in for you.
Well,
great guy.
Heart attack.
Matthew Kaminsky, great guy, is getting death threats from Phillies fans.
Oh, for God.
Well, they're Phillies fans.
Serious?
They are the most miserable human beings on the planet. Why? Because they live in Philadelphia.
Well, then go track them down.
Win or lose, they have to wake up in Philadelphia.
If he's getting death threats, if they know who it is, go
I agree.
Confront him.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And another sure sign that fall is here. Autumn has arrived. A depressed and slumped over Clayton Kershaw shuffling off the mound after giving up 6 runs and not making out in the first inning.
Oh, God.
The Diamondbacks destroyed the Dodgers in Game 1. You know the Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Where Michael Cena is walking, and a few people on YouTube know, where he's walking like this.
Yeah.
Like
Head
Linus.
down and, sad. And
that's Clayton Kershaw coming off the mound.
You know, by the way, I will give you one thing about your history thing with Clayton Kershaw. I saw on the TV over the weekend, they did a comparison. His ERA during the season for like 10 years is 1.8. His ERA for postseason is 7.4. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
And you got to think it's only because he's just arms tired by the end of the year.
No. They've been doing.
What the hell?
They've been. He's had kind of an injuries and stuff, so they've been coddling him. The last few weeks, he had a 2-point-something ERA. He wasn't pitching a lot. They were coddling him.
Well,
and then he went in there, and out he goes. Yeah. How about LA's David Peralta during the same game?
Yeah.
Dancing on second base after he got a double. They're down 9-0, and he's dancing out there.
No, that's not a happy
That's
time
not
there.
a good look.
No, that's not.
Falcons.
Yeah.
Shocked everybody, including me yesterday.
What a great story.
Pulled one out in the end. They beat the Texans 21-19 in the Benz. Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Look, the best he has so far. Drake London and Kyle Pitts actually got the football thrown to them.
There you go.
It was amazing. And Bijan Robinson, those 2 circus catches, one-handed things he was making behind his back, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
By the way, right as Young Wei Koo. I always get that. Koo was kicking the game-winning.
Yeah.
Were you watching the game?
Yeah. I saw the highlight. I didn't see all the game.
I'm watching it, and just as he kicked it, the screen went black.
No, are you serious?
And I thought, well, it must be my stream. No, everyone was talking about yesterday. The screen went black, and it came on just as it went through.
Oh.
And we're going, what? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think he's getting a lot of publicity, but boy, they sure love him on NFL coverage. That he's the best kicker in the league.
Oh, he's really good.
I mean, he is really, and I haven't heard much about him locally.
Well, I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but again, you would think, when you hear the names of kickers who are doing great, they're very. Stenerud. I mean, pick up the guy who's the left-hand footer from the guy from Sweden or
Sweden.
And I can.
Well, you're thinking about Jan Stenerud.
No.
Was he a lefty?
No, he was
Pete
right.
Gogolak. No, he wasn't from there.
Right. Our guy from Atlanta, the blonde guy.
I remember Mick Luckhurst.
Kind of chubby, left-footed kicker.
Sebastian Janikowski?
No, from Sweden. Our kicker.
What the hell are you talking about? Our kicker's Young Wei Koo.
20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, our famous kicker.
Who are you talking about?
The left-footed kicker.
Oh, Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson.
He played in New Orleans for a while.
Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry. I'm so sorry. It's bad of me. It's bad of me. I should quit now.
The 49ers embarrassed the Cowboys, and love how
I love that.
And I love how they act like the Niners are in San Francisco still. They show Lombard Street and they show the bridge and everything.
Yeah.
They're in Santa Clara.
Yeah, they're not.
Let me put this in perspective. That's as if the Falcons said, you know what, we're going to pick up and we're going to move from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and if you want to watch us play, you're going to have to drive to Carrollton.
Yeah.
That's how far away it is.
Yeah. Santa Clara is not anywhere. Yeah.
They're not in San Francisco anymore.
No.
But anyway, how about that crazy Georgia Tech win? Wasn't it wild? Wasn't it fun?
Oh, my God.
And what may be the worst decision in college football since Ohio State put the in front of their name.
Yeah.
Hurricanes head coach Mario Cristobal refused to take a knee and let the ball be handed off to the running back. By the way, he haven't done it all year. And this is the first time they were a one-score game.
Yeah.
And he took full credit for it. He said, I'm sorry, I blew that. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Well, here's what it sounded like when they won.
Singleton split out left with Rutherford. Blaylock and Leary, the receivers, right. Cooley standing beside King with 10 seconds to go from the 44. Snap back to King. Flushed out to his right. Looking. 5 seconds to go. He will toss it into the end zone at the 5. Leary into the end zone. Touchdown Jackets. Touchdown Jackets. 1 second left. Christian Leary. What did we just witness? Throwing downfield to Christian Leary, who got behind the defense at the 5. And it's 23-20 Jackets. I see it, and I still don't believe it.
Andy Demetra and Joe Hamilton, the Georgia Tech Radio Network. I mean, it's one thing to make that stupid play where you don't take a knee.
Yeah.
But then you let the guy get behind you on the final play.
Yeah.
That's just bad. Georgia spanked Kentucky. ESPN says this. This is unbelievable. ESPN analysts say the Dogs have just a 14% chance of finishing the season 13-0 and winning the SEC.
Oh,
just 14%.
Hold on a minute now. Who are they afraid of? Who are these rankers deciding that we can't beat?
Alabama, just because they beat Texas A&M?
Alabama, we're not afraid of Alabama anymore. Are we playing Ohio State on our current schedule or anything, or Michigan, or between now and the end of the year?
Not between 13 and 0.
So who's going to beat us? Who's on the schedule before the season is going to beat Georgia?
Did I just not play Georgia Tech winning that game?
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
1910, Nap Lajoie got 8 hits for Cleveland in a season-ending doubleheader against the Browns.
Oh, doubleheader.
Okay. The reason he did this, he was battling Ty Cobb for the batting title, and it seems that the other team didn't like Ty Cobb very much.
Oh, my God.
So the third baseman, Red Corridan, played way back, and Nap Lajoie bunted safely 6 times.
Oh, my. When was this?
1910. 1910.
Oh, my God.
And the IOC, or International Olympic Criminals, may put flag football into the Olympics for LA 2028.
You know, the Greeks were huge on flag football. The Greeks, they would run out naked. They had a little thing on their waist. They had a little flag on their waist.
How did they get a flag on their waist if they were naked?
It was a rope of some kind.
Where did they stick the flag?
Just underneath their future because it was
Nethers?
The friend in the Herneman. It's unbelievable.
By the way,
flag football.
Guess what they have in Paris next year, the Summer Games?
Paris next year. How you doing, folks?
Break dancing.
So I heard. I can't believe it. Come on, it's the Olympics.
I know.
You know, wrestling, fighting, rowing, throwing big round objects, metal balls.
It's just once. They're
discus thing.
Take it out after the Paris Olympics.
God. Well, what's the point?
I don't know. Breakdancing. Paris is known for breakdancing, right?
Oh, my God. By the way, I got the biggest kick out of this. Over the weekend, one of the reporters was asking our coach, Kirby Smart. He said, he was talking about, Kirby Smart talking about the wrecking ball effect of the Georgia Bulldogs. And the reporter said, well, going back to your wrecking ball analogy, in my head, I'm envisioning Miley Cyrus. Kirby Smart's answer, I don't know who Miley Cyrus is.
Oh.
What does she have to do with a wrecking ball, huh? I mean, I know who Eric Church wrecking ball. You had no idea who Miley Cyrus was. And by the way, another tweet on the game, or on football. If Travis Kelce is out for the year because of a turf injury and Taylor Swift stops coming to games, the NFL will ban turf within seconds. Also, Taylor Swift told Kelce to shake it off. His injury, shake it off, baby. 5:30 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We're not even done yet by a long shot, and the party continues here at the
Battery.
The Breakers. The Breakers at the Battery. Look out. Here we go. Now 5:36 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on Braves gonna win tonight day game. I take a 6:07 tonight. And it's a Braves Day. Not Braves Day game, but a Braves Day to win a game.
You want to start this over again?
We can start all over again. How you doing? Look out. It's 5:36. Sorry, a little...
it's just the alcohol talking.
No, it's the alcohol. It could be alcohol. If there's alcohol, it could be some alcohol.
What brand was he
it doesn't really matter. It just...
No idea.
If it's mixed with Coke, it really just doesn't make any difference. Anyway,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, please. Trust me, if I had done cocaine, I'd be dead.
We'd both be dead.
There's no way. If I have one Lucky Strike, if I take one puff of a cigarette, of a Lucky Strike, I'm hooked again. I know it. So that's why I can't. I want to smoke a pack of Luckies right now on the way home. I want to stop somewhere and buy a pack of freaking Luckies and smoke them on the way home
That's
now.
what I was going to tell you. There's a tobacco shop on the way home.
Where can I get them?
I was going to pull over and get some cherry-flavored pipe tobacco.
Oh, my God. I used to smoke that.
It smells so good.
I used to smoke. We had kids. When I was in prep school, we used to smoke that cherry. Oh, God, I remember the name of it. Hold on. Oh, God. I'll think of it. All right. And it was an actual pipe brand. I can't believe they're still making it.
Yeah.
And it was sweet and everybody. Anyway, kids used to smoke it in their pipes. Anyway. All right, 5:37. I missed a couple of sports-type birthday actions here. Annika Sorenstam is 52 today, the former Hall of Fame golfer girl. And Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer football middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Mike Singletary is 64 today. Also, on this day in sports history, can I do a thing from my Bad Day in History book? Can I do that?
Sure.
I have a Bad Day in History book. And by the way, we've talked a lot all day today about the war and Hamas and all that stuff, so don't give me any crap about not doing it right now. I'll get to it in a minute. Here we go. Okay, on this day in history, if the fix was in, the people were whispering to that effect. There was scant evidence of a leading of a fix into Game 8 of the infamous 1919 World Series, supposedly being thrown by 8 dirty players from the Chicago White Sox for a fee from the underworld gambling interests. The Sox had just won Games 6 and 7 against the Cincinnati Reds, as well as Game 3, leading to speculation that any number of the so-called Black Sox either had their consciences pricked or weren't being paid as promised, with the Cincinnati Reds now ahead 4-3. Excuse me, Arnold Rothstein, the reputed kingpin of the whole illicit operation, wanted such nonsense stopped immediately. To that end, a dark character whom 8 Men Out author Elliot Azonoff called Harry F., and described as a man schooled in the finer arts of persuasion, was enlisted to convince Sox pitcher Claude Lefty Williams that the health of his wife and children depended on his performance the next day. Mm-hmm. Whether Williams took the mysterious man at his word remains a matter of conjecture almost a century later, or more than a century later now, but the fact is that on October 9th, 1919, Chicago lost Game 8, and with it, the series, adding an indelible stain onto America's favorite pastime. 8 games in the World Series.
There's a best of 9.
9-game series back then, 1919. And again, I clearly, I think some of them didn't. Shoeless Joe Jackson didn't he never take money, but he was going to, and then he said, "No, I don't want to," or something, or is that not right?
And supposedly they don't know if he did or not.
Yeah,
I've been to his grave. He's over in Greenville.
Yeah, that was this day, 1919. Also, one more history thing in sports. 2000, 23 years ago today, Brett Hull scored his 611th goal, and that passed him one notch above his father, Bobby Hull. Mm-hmm. Brett Hull now at number 9 on the all-time.
Bobby's still better.
Oh, Bobby Hull was a force.
The Golden Jet.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he was. If you would ask people, like me, I'm not a huge. I played hockey as a kid, just goofing around stuff. I'm not a huge hockey fan. I know there were teams. I couldn't name you 10 hockey teams. I know there's Edmonton and Toronto and Boston. I can name probably 8 or 9, 10 teams. But I could probably name you 5 of the most famous hockey players, and he'd be one of them. That's how big he was.
Let's do it. All right.
Oh, God. Well, no,
Edmonton.
we don't really have the time.
Boston.
If we had the time. All right, Bobby.
What was the other one?
A team. Boston.
Edmonton.
Detroit. Hold on. New York Rangers and New York Islanders. That's 4. That's 2.
That's 5
for the 2. What's the one in the South? There's one, Nashville Predator, Nashville something or
very
others.
good.
Oh, well, God, I can't believe it got Predators. Hell, where was it? Montreal Expos.
No.
I'm Montreal, Canadiens. I'm Montreal Canadiens. I said Montreal. Montreal Canadiens. Toronto Blue. I got the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You got Toronto on there?
I got Toronto Maple Leafs.
All right, that's 8.
That's 8. There you are.
Good for you.
And Salt Lake has one, don't they?
No. You're missing. Las Vegas has one. Seattle has one. The LA Kings.
Yeah, there you go. I was thinking of the LA Kings.
There's one in San Francisco, right? The Golden State.
Do they have a hockey team?
Well, they used to have the Golden Seals. Do they still have a hockey team in San Francisco?
The San Francisco Seals were Willie Mays' first team.
No, we're talking the California Golden Seals was a hockey team.
Yeah.
I don't know if they moved or became the Colorado Rockies or something.
Did I miss I didn't miss one of the original, did I?
The original six was the Rangers, the Bruins, the Canadians, the Red Wings, the Blackhawks. You missed the Blackhawks.
Oh, Chicago Blackhawks.
And we're missing one. Who's
in fact, I almost got set up with the owner of the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh God, I can't do a name.
St. Louis. No, St. Louis wasn't one of the beginning.
Wurzleiser or something like that. His daughter rode a horse at the same stable where I got my horse when I got my first divorce in 1980.
Okay, hold a second. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're missing one of the original 6.
Toronto, Montreal, Boston, New York,
and Detroit. So there's one more. Who are we missing?
Chicago.
No, we already said Chicago. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, you're right. We did not. Yeah, Chicago's the last one. Yeah, okay, there's 6.
Okay, there you go. Well,
all right, well, by God,
we win.
That's a segment killed right there.
Oh, sorry, folks. Oh, my God. Well,
Oh, by the way, that Abe Rothstein character?
Yeah.
I always wondered what happened to him, and I saw something a couple years ago on the History Channel where they actually went into him. What a scuzzball that guy was. And he got his in the end.
What somebody killed him?
The mob killed him. I forget how they killed him, but they killed him.
Well, that's,
he was in debt, deep in debt.
Wow. What a time that was back. The gay 90s into the early part of the 20th century, 1900s. And
the 20s would have been a cool time to grow.
I mean, everything exploded. I mean, that was when industry began. This is when the automobile, everything exploded.
Everything changed.
The industrial age began right there. And again, the politics in the 1880s, 90s, the politicians who ran for president became president determined by the money people, period.
In the back room.
I mean, they decided who's going to be president. Anyway, what a time. That must have been. 5:44 already. I can't even believe it. And by the way, speaking of politics, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., poor bastard, picked today to announce he's going to be an independent third-party candidate. And we still don't. I don't have any idea what this means. I honestly don't know. I don't have an opinion. I have no confidence in saying whether that will help or hurt him or the Democrats or the Republicans. I don't know. How are you supposed to figure that out? We won't know until we have the results. But then how are you going to blame him? They're still going to blame. If Biden runs, the people voting against him are not going to be voting against him because of Robert Kennedy. So I don't know. I don't know how you're going to figure this out. But still, obviously, it's going to mean something. Something bad's going to happen. Somebody's not going to win because of Robert Kennedy. I'll bet you. And I'll bet you won't be him winning because of Robert Kennedy.
If he has the timing he had by doing this thing today, he'll be a non-factor.
Won't make any difference. Yeah. It's 6:15.
That's a poor best.
Give repeat. Imagine the timing. There's got to be a war. 6:15 and a Kimmer Pete and flounder. Look out. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, 548. Big party here at the radio station at the Battery because the Braves are, of course, playing. They're teeing off here. First pitch in about 15.
Teeing off?
Well, you know what I'm saying. And so we have had a big party here, all fans and family and friends and sponsors, all that stuff. And hi, ladies. Good to see you. A lot of hot babes in here, man. I'll tell you what, it's hard to keep concentrating.
We should have gone out there and
there's a lot of hot babes.
the flesh.
Yeah, a lot of hot babes in this area right now. Anyway, so
just imagine outside at the Battery.
I can't. I'm going to be looking a lot. Although they'll be in the ballpark by the time I get out of the building. But anyway, so here we go.
There's going to be a lot of people. They have a lot of people that hang out in the Battery and watch
true.
it. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Good atmosphere for baseball.
As soon as you walk out of here, there's that bar that has like a 2-story bar with a
Sports
deck
and social
all over the place in there. So
never been there. Is that a good place?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's right next to the stadium, so it's got.
It's loud, and there are always some babes on the deck looking and having fun, drinking. There's how much fun can you have just standing out on the deck, overlooking things and having a drink and with friends? I mean, that's the way to do it. Yeah. That was like 50 years ago. All right, 549. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Speaking of politics, do you still have that the Trump?
I do.
Action.
Daily Mail had Trump hammers Biden over Hamas attack, claiming he betrayed Israel. Biden did, and blasts the $6 billion Iran ransom while calling to reinstate a travel ban from terror-afflicted countries like he did when he had some of the Muslim countries banned.
Right. Biden gave $6 billion to Iran 2 weeks ago and said, well, they promised they'd use it for humanitarian purposes. And that minute later, the Ayatollah Khamenei came out and said, no, we're going to do whatever we want with it. And even if they did, it doesn't. The fact that it freed up another $6 billion, I mean, it's just nonsense. I mean, if you give me $10,000 to pay off my expenses on my credit card, which would be like a minute percentage of what I owe on my credit card, so let's say you gave me $30,000 to pay off my
$30,000.
Let's say that I don't mean we all say it together. So let's say you gave me $30,000. So I paid off my credit card, and then I go buy something. I mean, what are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so here we go, and now we have the attack and the businesses. And right after that, this is all planned. They would never do this under Trump.
No.
Would never do this under Trump.
Cameron, it was just pure coincidence that for 4 years, Putin
ironically,
and these guys did nothing.
And now we have 2 wars. Because you don't think America is going to get involved in this, supporting our only main ally in the Middle East?
If Lebanon, Hezbollah gets involved, if Iran gets involved,
we can stay out of it.
The whole place is going to erupt. But you know what? May not be such a bad thing if it means the end
if we can do it.
If we can get the mullahs out of Iran.
Well, if we can stay out of it and have it happen so that it does. But again, we had 9/11 and we had Saudi Arabia. We thought was our good buddies too.
They're better buddies now because they need us.
Well,
because we're pulling out of the Middle East, or have been.
Yeah, we're trying to.
And they're afraid of Iran.
Yeah.
Because Iran has a bigger military. They need us.
Well,
and they tried China. China doesn't have a navy that can protect them like we do.
They better start shaping up then, because this is bull crap.
They better start shaping up.
Well, I'm just saying, if they ask me, I'm going to ask
my fly straight, young man.
Opinion or something, And by the way, we haven't really spent much of time with it. We mentioned what an intelligence failure.
Yes.
Not only of American intelligence, and obviously if we knew anything, we would have told them or warned them or helped. And the Israeli intelligence, I thought that between the two of them, we had the greatest intelligence agencies in the history of the world.
Netanyahu's got some things he needs to answer. What do you got there? What is that?
A $202 bill. It's $2024 bill. I just need the form. A $2024 bill from Donald Trump with his fame, and the back shows $2024. United States of America, and God we trust. I trust. $2024. Right? That's pretty cool,
Thanks,
man.
Mike.
Well, okay, put it on YouTube. There you go.
Well, that's far too close.
Well, he's been drinking.
And do the other side too. Do both sides so they can see it. Just so
we're doing the YouTube. Too close.
A little too close. There you go. All right, boys. Thank you.
Being a film minor, I noticed that automatically.
Yeah. I love it. Anyway, all right, 5:53 already. I can't believe it. And with the war, we don't know what where we are right now. It's kind of been a lull temporarily, but Netanyahu has said especially after his people have been so divided.
They're
because
mad
of what
at
the
him.
Supreme Court I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what it meant, but the people who live in Israel sure know what it meant. And there's an uproar, and there is a divide in Israel over the new laws and structures of the Supreme Court and who can be charged and what kind of freedoms.
And
you
that's
have.
another reason they attacked. They thought they were divided.
The split between America being weak and Israel going through a terrible division right now. A perfect time to go. Plus, they have $6 billion they can spend on the money, on the weapons and stuff.
Well, all this can easily be done in like one sentence, basically, and it fits everything. Because if Hamas laid their weapons down, there would be peace. If Israel laid their weapons down, they'd be dead.
They'd be dead. They'd all be destroyed. In fact, that's you talked about a biblical issue. That's it. That's exactly it. Hamas has one issue, and that's destruction of Israel, period.
Yep.
And America, if we get in the way. But
basically, their slogan is from the river to the sea, meaning the Jordan River all the way to the Mediterranean, which means no Israel.
Israel, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're still pretty ticked off by that whole 1967 business. Can you imagine winning a war in 6 days and going, oh crap, there was two of them?
Well, it's not the first time Israel's been caught flat-footed. They were caught flat-footed in 73 because they're too trusting.
50 years ago.
If you go to them and say, we're going to get a peace treaty with you, they take you at your word, which they shouldn't be doing, I guess.
No.
They're far too... Like they let the Palestinians in the last few weeks to get jobs and have careers and be part of society. You could be an Arab and a Muslim and be in the Knesset. You could. That's the only democracy, allegedly republic in the Middle East. Yeah. But what did they do? They took advantage.
They just start letting the Hamas workers in, and somebody's got. You mentioned earlier, they got to go door to door. I mean, this has got to be eradicated. Period. Hamas, not the Arab world. Hamas.
Well, it's not the Arab world. It's the Palestinians. To me, I keep them separate than the Arabs. I don't even consider them.
I don't know. I can't.
They all hate them. There's a reason they all hate them. Yeah. They kicked them out of Jordan. They kicked them out of Egypt. And by the way, their longest border in Gaza is Egypt, and Egypt barricades it. They don't let them in.
Well, no, that's only for America. Because you let 6 million people into your country. Can you imagine any other country on the planet allowing 6 million people to come in and say, "Well, we're here. What are you going to do for us now?"
And by the way, that's Democrats and Republicans allowing that to happen.
Absolutely. Even though Puttigat back 20 years ago was saying in the Senate was saying, we have to close the border. This is a disaster. You can't run a country with an open border. He also believed that a marriage was between a man and a woman, period, too, by the way.
They all changed because they're thinking. By the way, on The View, Schwarzenegger said we need an impassable barrier. Can you imagine him saying that 3 years ago? He had never said that.
Right.
When Trump was in office, he would never say that.
Yeah. And Trump was right. Every time, the more things happen, the more Trump was right. This Hamas business would never have happened if Trump was president. The invasion of Ukraine would never have happened if Trump was
You may hate Trump, you may hate his tweets, you may think he's a jerk, but he's been right on just about everything. At least admit that.
Well, he was in it for the country. He wasn't in it for the money.
Yeah, he didn't need this.
Yeah, he didn't need anything. He was a businessman with chicks.
He destroyed the last parts of his life to help his country. And look what happened. Look what happened to him.
Yeah. And it's not over by a long shot. And here we go again. This election season just in today. Iowa Democrats are conducting their presidential preference caucus by mail, starting in January, and will announce the results in March, which is Super Tuesday, March 5th. So Iowa and New Hampshire have laws that say they will host the first presidential primary. New Hampshire has announced their primary by primary date October 14th, and January date is expected. But Iowa Democrat chairman said the plan complies with Iowa law and sets Democrats up for a win in 2024.
Isn't Super Tuesday when South Carolina?
Yeah.
So once again, South Carolina is going to decide it.
The Democrat National Caucus voted in February to hold the first primary in South Carolina February 3rd, 2024. Super Tuesday's March 5th. Again, South Carolina what gave President Showers with daughter the presidency.
Yeah. He didn't have a win till he got there.
That's right. And they made a deal because they were afraid of Bernie Sanders was getting all the votes. And they said, we can't have that freaking 90-year-old socialist be our president.
And they're doing it now.
Let's get the slightly younger, stupid one.
New Hampshire probably would have gone for Kennedy.
Yeah, I'll bet you. Anyway, and now so Iowa has said, well, we're going to have we're going to do it. The caucus will be by mail.
The fix is in again.
Yeah, 3
you Democrats,
months.
the fix. There's no democracy with your party. It's all the fix from Hillary on down.
Yeah. Michigan has also decided this year, decided a few weeks ago, that they will also have mail-in voting all the time. And early voting, mail-in voting. So, I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
This is how they won last time, and this is how they're going to win again.
Going to steal again. Unless there's some overwhelming tidal wave to get Biden out.
Well, we've had a few. We've had, but a problem that people aren't reacting. We've had the tidal wave. We had the Afghanistan withdrawal. We've had the Ukraine war. We've had gasoline prices. We've had the economy. My God, we've had the whole tranny bull crap that's going on, and the gender thing with kids taken away from their parents. I mean, my God, how many more disasters do we need in the last 3 years?
It was countered by, what do you mean I can't kill my baby up to 9 months?
Yeah.
That countered it.
That's unbelievable. Anyway, my God, I can't believe we're almost out of time. Go Braves! They the first pitch at 6:07, and the party's finally breaking up. They're going across the street to watch the ball game, I guess. So
there's a ball game.
Maybe some food left over, and God knows I don't need any more bourbon and Coke. Anyway, Flounder, Pete, and Kibber. By the way, my last girlfriend just dumped me on the phone. She said, "Hey, by the way, baby, are we in a tunnel because we're breaking up?" I was like, excuse me, hello. That didn't work too well. 6 o'clock, I gotta go, you're killing me. Look out.